Sport Subaru, dmchevy.com. What's going on with you, buddy?
Well, it's funny because I was about to text J.C. Harrelson over at Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont. That's where I bought my Chevy Silverado.
Yes, sir.
And it's about to be paid off.
Yeah.
So
upgrade it.
I believe I only have a year of payments left, and
ton of great new vehicles, ton of great used vehicles.
Yeah.
Your wife got a used vehicle from.
Well, it's funny because she got her original Chevy Traverse from Sport Subaru.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, that was a pre-owned Chevy Traverse.
Yeah, they have great used vehicles as well.
Then we traded that in to get my WRX from Sport Subaru.
I miss that car.
It's right there on North John Young Parkway. You could talk to Mike Stacks for anything Sport Subaru related.
Yes, sir.
But then she ended up buying a new Chevy Traverse from Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont. So she has a Chevy Traverse. I got my Silverado, both from Don Mealy Chevrolet.
Yeah, man.
But I also got a Forester and a WRX from Sport Subaru as well.
You itching for a new Silverado?
Having a new car is nice.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
And so, again, those are our two car dealerships. Talk to Mike Stacks at Sport Subaru, North John Young Parkway, or J.C. Harrelson at Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Hope everybody had a nice Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means. Labor Day.
I feel extremely hungover.
Oh, yeah. Did you go hard?
On Sunday.
You got a hair of the dog it. You got a hair of the dog it. I taught Maisie this. This is the most embarrassing thing I've ever said on A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I taught my daughter how to hair the dog. The hair of the dog. I taught her about it.
About drinking a little bit.
I had a beer at 8 o'clock. She's like, "You're having a beer." I was like, "It's the only way I can feel better and finish your room."
8 in the morning?
I had to have one. I had myself what I like to call a construction's companion. I had a construction worker's companion, and it got my head right. One in, and I was good to go.
That's all you need.
That's all you needed. I was a Superman, and that's what I told her. She's like, "You shouldn't be doing this." I said, "I deliberately saved 1 16-ounce Coors Light, 1 C- for Daddy in the morning because I knew I was going to need it."
Well, speaking of drinking during the week, Moe's Comedy Jam is Thursday.
It is.
You can get your tickets at mocomedyjam.com. And with us today, a comedian that's going to be at Moe's Comedy Jam, Austin Kleeman. How you doing, Austin?
Doing good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for being here.
Austin, let's talk about your comedian journey.
Yeah.
Where to start? Are you from Central Florida?
Yeah, I've lived in Seminole County my whole life.
Okay.
I tell people I'm from Orlando, but people from Orlando get mad when they find out where I'm really from.
Seminole County's you're Seminole County.
Yeah, I am
right?
Seminole.
Rough around the edges over there. Yeah. Castleberry Kid over here. Yeah. Seminole County has a lot of fentanyl.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of fentanyl.
We're doing good over there. We're bored.
Yeah, a lot of skating rinks, a lot of Burger Kings.
They just opened up a funnel cake carnival type trailer at the where the abandoned lot near my house.
It is a carnival funnel cake trailer that they just park in an abandoned lot next to the homemade juice man.
Now, this sounds interesting.
I went with my daughter. Am I allowed to tell the story?
Yeah, my wife's mad that you're supporting them.
Yeah, I had to support because, I live in Baldwin, which is fancy, and you ain't going to find no funnel cakes around here. You'll find no fun around here. There's nothing fun around here. But we drove over, went across the tracks to Castleberry, me and my daughter, and there it was. It was there. And she said, "Let's stop. I've never had a funnel cake." Austin, I had this funnel cake.
Yeah.
We packaged it to go. We brought it home 15 minutes home. Fresh, hot, delicious. Half of it with powdered sugar, half of it with chocolate on it. The edges, the crispy edges. It had branded. They had a branded sleeve you slide it in.
Oh, yeah.
They gave me napkins and the whole nine. It was delicious.
Oh, yeah. It's trashy in Seminole County.
So
but
good.
There's money behind
Yeah,
it. We
man.
know what we're doing.
It was so good. Seminole County parties.
There's a line, too, and I'm mad. I'm like, they chose the right location.
We had to wait in line.
The people around here love funnel cakes.
No line, 13 people deep.
I'm getting the address when we get off the air.
It's delicious. It's delicious.
So, Austin, you grew up in Seminole County.
Yeah.
When did you start doing stand-up?
I started doing stand-up 5 years ago.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. When I was 28, I started.
So So right
How do you
before the
decide to do
pandemic,
Yeah, right before.
Yeah, you started. You're like, I'm really getting into the pandemic.
Yeah, right.
Nice, a good, nice, 8 to 9 month break, right at the peak of
time to write.
Yeah, it was fun to watch myself and all of my friends slowly disintegrate as human beings.
Yeah, it was driving a lot of people crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you had just started doing it, and you're rolling into it. Was it a complete bummer, or did you take advantage of the time to, write and maybe get more confident in certain ways?
I took advantage of it. I started posting on TikTok a lot.
Yeah, you have a huge following there.
Yeah,
right?
I blew up a little bit on TikTok during the pandemic, and then I've moved it over to Instagram a little bit. But I took advantage of it, and then I was writing a little bit. Florida's Florida, so we were really only closed for 3 months.
Right. Yeah.
So really, it was a solid one.
Yeah,
where everybody.
And some people never close. Mike Busey never closed.
Yeah, he's never. You can't close. Mike Busey.
That is a Waffle House scenario. 24 hours, never closed.
Once the restaurants figured out how to sell food and alcohol at the same time, we were back doing comedy.
Yeah, it was an amazing thing when you could pull up. I did this with Andrea. One time we pulled up. I'm not going to name the restaurant because I don't even know if they were supposed to be doing this. We pulled up. We got a tray of baby back ribs and all these amazing sides, and then they were just handing me cocktails, open cocktails through the doors.
To go drink.
To-go cocktails, and then they were sealed, but I unsealed them and drank them in the car. It was the greatest time to be alive.
Yeah, Florida was fun during the pandemic.
And you got special cocktails.
Yeah.
They were fancy. They were we have all this leftover fruit because nobody's doing. Oh, we'll make a special mango puree tequila sunrise or something.
When you were building your social media, because
what do you got 170,000 on TikTok or something? Yeah, that's a lot, dude.
It's also difficult. And then some people just I think they strike gold, or they essentially they just start posting content because if you told people exactly what you did, it does not mean they're going to build 100K followers.
Yeah.
In fact, chances are they won't. 99% chance they, even if they're doing similar.
I've never thought about that. It is highly specific.
Hustling,
even
it just hits.
Yeah, or just the way, your demeanor, regardless, not to give you the snowflake speech or the fingerprint speech, but it is entirely unique to you.
Yeah.
So anybody could do the content, but there's a high probability that they won't do anything.
And so, did you have immediate success? Were you surprised at how fast your growth was?
A little bit. I think within the first 10 or 15 videos I posted, one of them went pretty viral.
Yeah.
I started doing I started just bringing my lunch to work and weird stuff. The first one that went viral, I brought my lunch to work in the bag that oranges come in.
Yeah.
And I was just I'm getting made fun of for my lunchbox. Here's what I'm doing, and that started popping off. So I started doing lunchbox videos, and then it transitioned to me just kind of yelling in my car.
All right.
Yeah.
I like a good.
It makes
car
people mad when you go how did you get successful lunchbox videos? You're yelling in my car. Makes people mad when they hear that.
Well, I have a weird likability, and it's been my whole life where nobody takes me seriously when I'm mad. Everybody thinks I'm joking.
Yeah.
So, a lot of my videos, I'm genuinely upset about something, and I'm just yelling at my phone, but it comes out funny.
Yeah. You do
Good
have
quality to have.
You do have a likable factor.
Yeah, you have a jolliness to you.
Yeah.
And that's not a size thing. It's just your face.
Yeah.
You have a jolly... You look like people that people like. You look like one of my mom's best friends, David Martin, who is a vocal teacher and a classically trained singer.
I like it.
You look like Jerry Garcia a little bit.
I like that.
Who doesn't like Jerry Garcia? He's got his own ice cream flavor.
There's a bit of Puppet Master going on.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of Henson.
Yeah. I got a little bit of
Tiny Henson.
I got a little bit of what's the Star Wars one?
George Lucas.
Little George Lucas-y. In fact, I might use you for something with George Lucas. He looks exactly like George Lucas.
I get George Lucas a lot.
You kind of could lean into that, man. You got good hair, so I think you could if we just made it a little bigger and gave you some of those Conway Twitty sideburns.
Oh, we could do it.
Yeah, we could totally nail that.
Lucas went all gray, right? I think so.
George?
Right?
Yeah. Pink and a pink face.
Yeah.
If we're going to go gray, you got to go pink.
So then what, I'm curious to, because once you build a social media following, then it's okay,
what do I do with it?
Yeah.
You use it to sex traffic girls.
Because obviously there's the promotion part, the self-promotion and promoting your own shows, but then I'm sure there's can I make money from this? How valuable is it? Because it's crazy how weird it could be, insanely valuable to one person, worth $0 to another person. there's a huge spectrum in between.
Yeah, I make very little money off of it, to be honest with you. I'm not great at marketing it. I use it more of as kind of like a way in the door. It validates you a little bit. Especially if you're in a comedy realm, it's easier to reach out to people and be like, "Hey, I'm so and so. I love a spot on the show," and they see your followers, and it's easier to get in there. And then the hard part is being able to get back, though.
Yeah. Because then it's just about how well you perform, which is weird because to me, it's like if I sold the ticket. That who cares what I do?
Yeah. Well, I think are some places like that at all, or has it changed? You've been in it, I think, long enough to see obviously you gained your following, then you knew you were going to be able to do something with it, but what you do with it probably has even changed since you started dabbling in social media. What are some of the things now that are kind of different? Does it mean as much as it did, or does it mean more?
I think it means. It's less. It means less now, I think, than it did 4 or 5 years ago because there's so many people on social media that have a sort of a pretty good following. If you get to where you can move tickets and you can sell out, it's gotten to a point now where if you can sell out clubs, it doesn't matter. If you actually are what people would consider funny, if you can move tickets, they'll let you in.
Yeah, and then we've talked to a lot of comedians about there's a divide between old school comedians and then social media comedians and
the crowd work guys. And then the guys that just kind of come into town and bring their their wacky catchphrase and their grandma wig. And then and good on them though. But if they can sell enough tickets, and
then you get guys like Cam Patterson from Orlando who blew up really big on social media and sells all the tickets, but he's also the funniest comedian you'll see live, probably.
And super nice and seems to be doing the work.
He puts it all together.
Yeah, you do see the differences.
Well, Austin, did you watch the hot dog eating Netflix competition?
Why are you asking him that?
I watched the hot dog competition. It was an hour and a half. I just watched the hot dogs.
Okay, this guy knows what he wants. He's fast forward to the hot dogs. I just want to see the hot. I like that. You've gained so much more respect. You're like my dad fast forward to the end of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So we could just see who won.
So it was Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi, and there was their Netflix Labor Day.
I like that Joey Chestnut kind of paints Kobayashi in a light of that. With no Kobayashi, there would be no Joey Chestnut. He really does play it as if Kobayashi is the only man that ever could push him to do that. That is how, right? I mean, I didn't watch any of it, but I'm pretty sure that's how they framed it.
That's kind of how he was pitching it. And in my mind, I was like, man, just white people seeing somebody doing something and they think we could do that better.
Yeah. Kobayashi was the dude, I want to say, from 02 to 04, or 01 to 04, Kobayashi was the guy. And then there were scandals and all these problems and things happen.
Well, then it was the time where it became evident that this was more about training to stretch your stomach than it was about
was it ever
guys
about
eating hot dogs.
Was it ever about who can eat the most?
Well, because people don't they're this guy, is 600 pounds. Of course he could eat a lot of hot dogs, and you don't realize human biology where it's just about fitting contents into your stomach. And that's the fat on the outside doesn't help you eat more hot dogs.
It does make it look
how
better,
big your
though.
stomach
It makes
is.
it look cooler.
It looks cooler. It's I don't like, we said this the other week, I don't like my football coaches to not look like Andy Reid. I don't like the way that Miami's greasy football. What's that guy's name?
Mike McDonald.
I don't like the way Mike McDonald looks. He's too greasy and cool. I need a big fat walrus on the sideline.
Yeah, a Rex Ryan.
Yeah, that's a football.
My favorite. When competitive eating went downhill when they got rid of Ed Cookie Jarvis. That was my favorite eater. He used to wear a big stovepipe cookie hat. And he wore American flag Zubaz pants. Those were the guys that I liked. Kind of hearkening back to when, who was the guy that was the biker that fought in UFC?
Oh,
Tank Abbott.
Yeah, Tank Abbott.
Yeah, I like. I'm a traditionalist. I also have having indigestion right now, and I'm burping up a hot dog.
Yeah, it turns out the guys that can eat the most hot dogs they're like athletes, so they have enough discipline to stretch their stomach 3 times a day when they need to, using water and some other techniques, and then they stretch it to a point, and to where they can.
It's no different. It's no different than stretching your beehole, right?
I hate that. It makes me so mad. Like, you guys can ride roller coasters. We can't have hot dog competitions?
That's true. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I don't want to take it away. But it's not really eating.
Yes, yeah.
Also,
stretching.
like, let's just cut to the thing that everybody wants to know. Just like everybody wants to know how Jelly Roll wipes, everybody wants to know how big these guys' dukes are. Like,
I think they purge after.
I want to see the next 30 minutes.
I don't think they can. I think they should be locked into a hotel room, much like the movie Old Boy. And not allowed to leave unless they have taken a fill the bowl. Fill the bowl, and that's the complaint. Then you get the belt.
I'm convinced that they just puke it out.
That kills it for me. That kills it.
They don't talk about it because it kills it for everybody.
It kills it for everybody.
I think they have to.
The whole point is hot dogs making hot logs. That's the point.
They would be like extremely, extremely uncomfortable, and maybe even like poisoned in some way for days after if they kept that.
I feel like they should have to do that. I feel like Joey Chestnut, when you eat 83 hot dogs, I feel like I want you to come back to me later and say, and I also took 41 bathroom trips. You know what I mean? Like, I would be like, wow.
What if it went the other way? What if, because it's like all that salt and preservatives, you just didn't go to the bathroom for 3 weeks?
I've been seeing these commercials that I have. Supposedly, my intestines are just coated in old Duke. I've been watching these videos. I'm supposed to take some sort of thing.
Now, Austin, you on your social media, because I did look and see. What's
we like
Austin
to look
doing?
for pictures of your sister.
And you call yourself King of the Fats.
Yes.
Not that big.
But I was about to say, you are not that big.
Kind of a letdown, dude. You look good. You look good.
Like a lot of our listeners are bigger.
Yeah. Oh man, I could name like 9 people that'll crush you in weight.
Like, you wouldn't even be like the 30th fattest person on our cruise.
That's the problem.
You're Desmond Ritter, man. You get cut from the team. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. Not big enough.
When I started King of the Fats, I weighed 450 pounds.
Okay,
so I was King of the Fats.
Right.
Yeah, I've lost since 120 pounds.
Hey, dude, that's amazing.
Thank you. I've transitioned to the Wizard of Weight Loss.
The Wizard of Weight Loss is great.
The problem is, like any true king, no one has taken my title from me. You have to fight. You have to take it from me if you want to be the king. Right. So I retain the title until someone else gets it.
Okay, I like that.
So how'd you lose the weight?
Just walking, and then I started doing not meal prep. I started to get the somebody was making my food for me.
Okay, the meal services.
Yeah, your mom.
Yeah, my mom was doing it pretty much.
Dude, I mean,
everybody be fat if they ate only what their mom made. Oh man, fat.
That is like, if you just have someone give you your meals every day, and you can choke them down.
Yeah,
like that works. Because then it takes the decision out of it.
But I need it to be I honestly need it to be where you hand it to me hot with a fork. That's how much of a baby I am.
Because if you have to take it from that is the problem. If you have to take it for your lunch, I think psychologically you forget it on purpose.
I think you're right.
Because
I like flavors too much.
Yeah.
He doesn't like flavors as much as me. I'm a flavor guy.
Okay. What is it, like some chicken, rice, and veggies, like a healthy carb? Like after a while you are like, oh my god, you're like, again.
Just the smell of it. This is how triggered I get. I made a whole crock pot of stewed chicken. Like you put the chicken breast in there, you put some salsa on top, you let it go all day. It sucks all the life out of it. Then you got a pile of slop, and you put it you put the chicken in a Tupperware, and you put it in there, and you know that in the morning all you got to do is take a scoop of chicken, a scoop of rice, and a scoop of beans. When I open up that refrigerator, I don't know if other people are like this, the smell of that cooked chicken hits me, and I'm like, oh! Seriously, it hits me like it smells like cat food, or it smells like, I'm like, what is that? And it's the stuff I made, and it's horrible now. I was like, oh, I can't eat that.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, if I cook it, I don't want it.
Yeah. And then
with the slave complex.
and then you have to take the joy away from food.
Yeah.
Like if you do want to eat
you
clean.
Do. You eat
Oh,
these,
yeah.
He'll eat these bowls from Publix. It's like spinach with like some nuts and 5 pieces of turkey. And then,
Dude,
it looks horrible.
I gorged myself over Labor Day weekend, and
I saw you. You had
I went to Hollabox yesterday.
I saw that. You also had a smile on your face, and I saw you sneaking one of your bacon sliders, and you were eating.
Yeah.
This guy, I haven't seen him eat a hamburger in years. This guy he cooked the bacon slider. They were beautiful, by the way. You did a great job on the grill. He was eating the bacon sliders, and he looks good now, and he's buff. And I've never seen you. The smile on your face was humongous.
Because your bacon sliders are
Bacon sliders are
garbage.
freaking amazing.
Yeah. Like, and then
with a Hawaiian roll. Oh God.
Yeah.
Melted cheese.
Oh my God! And then I had that pork shank at.
You got the pork shank again? Have you been to Hollabox to have the pork shank?
Yeah. Hollabox is awesome.
Yeah, that'll put you in a coma. I spin.
Yeah. And then the mashed potatoes, sauerkraut. The sauerkraut.
What's going on with you? You trying to get fat again? You're not allowed.
Sauerkraut will give you farts, so I will say that.
Oh yeah.
I farted so long in the garage that
you have to walk away.
That Tommy got. I mean, it was bad,
Yeah.
real bad. He started gagging and ran out and crying. My son was crying.
Sauerkraut gets you, man. The Germans will make you cry.
So Austin, I'm just curious of your writing process and then what you choose to post.
Let's talk
on
about his
social
toothless
media.
dog.
Okay, yeah. So what you had your dog?
All of these comedians have different writing processes, but only you have a toothless dog.
I do. My dog has 11 teeth currently. We saved some.
All right, that's cool.
We got some. We kept her a little bit lethal. She had an infection in her mouth. We had her for 10 years. She didn't have the infection for 10 years. I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, we GoFunded it. We had we got her teeth popped out. She's doing great now.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a good story. Also, can be very scary story. I don't know if you know this. This is was this Seminole County? Probably. Dondi the elephant at Flea World died of a tooth infection.
See,
that's how Dondi went. That's how Dondi went.
I remember that elephant.
You know, she got a tooth infection. I think a child had thrown trash into her bin, and she ate the trash, and it ruptured one of her molars.
Like, you don't have to go to a dog dentist.
You do.
And
the dentist is a dog. The dentist is a dog.
The veterinarian is a dentist too, right?
No.
Not only some of them. It depends on like the quality of the vet. Like the vet I was going to was like, we can't do this. You got to go to a specialist.
Yeah.
So I went to a specialist, and they're like, $7,000, dude. We'll pop all these teeth out, and I don't have that. I'm a stand-up comedian.
$7,000.
Yeah. I feel like if you went to back to There Will Be Blood Times 1908, and you told
looking for oil,
and you told someone that in the future someone's career will be a dog dentist. First, they'd never believe you. Then they'd be like, "Well, that has to be the poorest person in society."
The gentleman you're thinking of would be screaming, "My boy's not going to be a dog dentist."
And then you're like, "No." they will be quite rich.
Yeah.
Like, what?
They're doing good.
As a dog
In fact,
dentist?
there's more money in dog dentistry than this oil. The oil will be gone soon. It will run out, but the dog dentistry will only be blossoming.
Yeah, the person selling oil will make less than the dog dentist.
Oh, yeah. The place I went was one of the nicest, like, just doctor's offices I've ever been to in my life, and I was the only appointment that day. They're
That's awesome. Well, the number one thing, though, I mean, the dog's good.
Yeah, we went to my mom's vet, who my mom's taking her to gone to the same vet forever, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I'll do it. Give me $1,200. I don't care."
Oh, you used to find these guys. The first 10 years I knew him, everything he got done on his body was like by a guy.
Yeah.
Well, it was a radio listener. They were like, "Hey, you guys," like, and then I believed them, and they did it. They were fine.
He would show up at places, and then they'd be like, "Psst. Hey, I'm opening up the back door." He'd go in. The place is shut down. He's going in after hours for an MRI.
Yeah. Sometimes doctors lose their license for a reason, and sometimes they just flew too close to the sun, but they're high-quality doctors.
Yeah, they still know the same as the other doctors.
Yeah.
They made a couple mistakes,
His intent was to save her life. He didn't know she was going to eat and choke on the table.
Exactly.
Like,
that's the anesthesiologist's problem, not mine.
You started prescribing yourself some pain pills. You had a little problem, but you still know the
mean you're bad. That doesn't mean you're bad. Rush Limbaugh was not a bad man.
Yeah, you can still take my teeth out, right? It's like you still know how to do the stuff. Do you have to feed your dog like special diet of something?
Softer foods now. It's just like soak it in water, essentially.
Gotcha.
My dog does that anyway.
Yeah, it's easy
like most
transition.
dogs, like they take their food, they put it in like everywhere. It's like a big mess.
Does his tongue fall out of his mouth?
A little bit. No, yeah, it falls out the front.
That's kind of
Who knew that?
It is a little gross.
I didn't know this until I started seeing a bunch of like little Italian grandmas, but your teeth hold your tongue in your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you think your lips would too, but no, it just
the
slides right
teeth,
out.
Yeah, it's slippery there. These lipsticks are slippy.
Yeah, the vet told me, he's like, I kept a couple teeth in on each side at the bottom so her tongue doesn't fall out the side of her mouth.
That's called the dog the bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Do you know he's only got front teeth? All of his dog the bounty hunter's back teeth are completely missing. It's only for photo ops. So if you look a photo, if you really...
He's got money. Why don't you fix
Dog
it?
the bounty hunter, he's got the... If you look at his mouth, you can see it's so dark in the back of his mouth. There's nothing in there.
I mean, he did spend a long time in prison. I guess that does make sense.
Yeah, but he's a millionaire.
Yeah,
like,
that's also
go
fair.
to a dentist and get some dentures or something, dog.
He also still wears those blades that have the built-in, those Oakley blades that still have the built-in MP3 players.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that he's dying on that hill.
There's no way those work.
Oh, there's no way
the phone's not compatible with it anymore.
Oakley and Sony, they're like, that's been discontinued for 25 years, I believe.
You have to plug a little wire.
They don't work. They don't work anymore.
No, he's
That's
just
what
wearing
Austin's saying. He's just wearing the glasses. He is.
Austin, again, Moe's Comedy Jam this Thursday.
We got to get you back in here, man.
Yeah,
this
for
is
sure,
super
man.
fun. Super fun. And the
Austin,
chat room loves you.
Plug your social media real quick. So
Yeah,
people
on
follow you.
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Austin.KLEEMAN on all of them.
Cool. Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Screwed that up.
And
Yep, that was a nightmare.
they'll find it.
I was like, I just talked to these guys for 30 minutes. Fine. I can't talk about myself.
That's fine. I do that all the time, Austin. Don't worry.
We said we're bad at promoting. I was just telling you how bad I am at doing this. I didn't tell anybody we're live on YouTube. I didn't tell one person we're live on Twitch. I didn't tell people what station we were on. I didn't say who he is.
Sometimes I forget what we're doing. I'm like, oh my God. What is it? Anyway, we will see you guys on Thursdays at Moe's Comedy Jam.
Every Thursday is Moe's Comedy
No, it's just one.
Now you're doing it.
What's Austin's fault?
It's contagious. It's not your fault, man.
Yeah, you're stumbling
coming
on
here.
it. Then I thought I was done. So
This was a competent businessman before I got here.
I know. He took one call and rattled his bones, and look, all hell's breaking loose. All right, we will be right back.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've got Kenny Samps on the couch. How you doing, Kenny?
Hey, I've eliminated your pervert song.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're phasing out the pervert thing.
That won't change people's perception.
No, it won't. You'll have to make those changes.
All right. So you know how Tom has observations? I got a gripe.
Okay.
I got a gripe.
Is
for
it
you
me?
guys.
What did I do?
It's for you guys. So,
Okay.
Friday free show. You guys had your wives here, and you're like, "Hey,
My
let's hear
Oh,
a."
my God. Oh, my God.
Uh-oh.
What?
You have full booger on your nose, dude.
Oh,
White one.
Oh,
A
it's
white
on
one.
his finger,
Get a
too.
white booger. Go get a paper towel and wash your hands.
it was big enough.
wait.
He had to use his second hand to remove
I
it
know,
from
it's
his first
humongous.
hand.
My God, man.
All right.
So now he froze like this camera's not on.
So you guys had your wives on. You're like, hey, let's play a voicemail. And it was one of my voicemails. And you heard my little intro. And then it was like, hey, guys, you know how, there's panhandlers on the side of the road? And then you guys stopped. And then you guys discussed it for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then Dan's like, all right, let's do another voicemail.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
You didn't even get to hear what
The
I
money
was
shot.
bringing up.
We didn't even get to your
in
money
there.
shot.
You guys
do you want to bring it up
on a
now?
yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay. Well, first off, let me explain. Kenny.
First of all, where'd you put that booger?
We just need to get the gist of whatever the hell
Yeah.
the caller's
We're-
calling about. I don't care
We're
about
just
your opinion.
guys. Of course, we only listen to the front part of the voicemail.
Just call and say something, one word.
Yeah,
and then
and
we'll
we'll
go. That's all we need.
When you call in, you're like,
It's like a randomizer.
Hey there, Tom and Dan. I'm like, hey, let's talk about that stupid song that he sings every time. Like I could go on anything.
So I was at a red light, and it wasn't a person selling roses. It wasn't a person selling newspapers or whatever. It was someone with those juggling pins, not like the normal bowling pins, but the regular juggling pins. He had 3 of them.
They're skinnier.
Yeah.
They're skinnier. Yeah, juggling pins. Yeah.
And
I used to have juggling pins.
He was getting money, and then he would do a little mini juggling act for you while you're waiting at the red light.
I like that.
Get
All the
money,
other bums hate him.
and then that was it. I'm like, I've never seen someone try to do a talent before, because normally they try to do a service, like they'll wash your windshield with the dirty newspaper, or they'll sell you something.
That was in the 80s. That doesn't happen anymore.
That only happened in Cheech Marin movies.
Yeah, that's true. But the fact that he
Escape
came
from
out
LA,
there,
or what was it? Like
and
Live and Die in LA?
he was on the median, and he didn't even need a sign. He just held the bowling pins, and he was walking up and down.
When you see those, you know what that person's here for.
And someone rolled down their window, gave him $1. He did like a little 15-second juggling thing, and then
that's pretty good.
Said thank you.
That's pretty good.
And I'm like, that was actually one of the better panhandle. Like, had I had cash on me,
if you gave him like a 5, do you like he does it and he stops you? Come on, keep going. Come on, keep flipping them, keep flipping them.
Or you
Like
just
me at the strip club, the song starts to get faded down, and I'm like, hold on a second, the DJ's cutting this thing short.
I think you're like, meet me in the Publix parking lot. I'm going to bring my family. You're going to entertain me for $20.
Yeah.
You start juggling anything I bring
Bring
you.
him to your house. You can bring him to your house.
I would hate, though, like, you're at the light, you pull up a little later, you see him, you give him the $1. As he starts juggling, the light turns green.
No, I'm gonna
and
wait
you're like,
for it.
no, I don't get the show.
No, I'm going to wait for it. Or have him sit with you. Sit in the passenger seat. Juggle through the sunroof. He's juggling through the sunroof.
Yeah, I'll drop you off a couple blocks out. It's same difference.
Yeah. It's like a personal...
What if he had
personal juggling?
What if you had a partner and you're supposed to roll down your both windows and he's doing it through your car to his partner on the other side?
Now you're just out of your mind.
So I do like when the panhandler offers you some sort of entertainment. This happened once. Now, of course, you got the buskers, but that's different.
No. I'm talking about like at the red light. Yeah.
And I like it when you don't have any idea what they're going to give you, and then you give them $1, and they're like, how about this?
Isn't that how the golden voice bum got discovered?
Yes.
By discovered, I mean like someone was like, hey, you have a great voice, and he would get paid to say
before
like...
he became soft, because we gave him too much, the golden voice bum.
Too much mac and cheese.
Where we really had him when he was like, you'd give him $1 and he'd be like, hi, it's me, the golden voice bum. He would do like, that was more George Takei, but you know what I mean? Like, it was like we had him where we wanted him.
He did a fake radio thing, because I think what made him famous goes, you're listening to the hits of 107.5. He would do something like
that. We didn't know that I think he beat up his sister, and he's
he's estranged from his daughter for robbing money from her.
Yeah, he did some bad things. He did some bad things.
And then they're like, oh yeah, that's right.
That's why he's a bum.
You're a mentally ill bum.
There's a reason this happened.
Kraft thought about it. They had him voice one commercial, and then they were like, get this guy out of here. He's a lunatic.
They started giving
Didn't he relapse? I think they found him. I thought he relapsed, and they found him in a hotel room doing crack.
Well, and beating up his...
Didn't he? Yeah, he's slapping his old lady around or something. He's like, I'll take you spent all my Kraft money, you bitch.
I think we all forgot that he was homeless for a reason, because at least the three of us, we've worked in radio before, we're like, that checks out. That's how much radio pays. He probably got fired and couldn't get a job in radio.
There are multiple people right now working in radio that are literally minutes away from being homeless. Minutes.
I remember one time walking down Church Street. It was me and Crystal and the Grizz. And
you guys went a lot of places together as a trio.
He used to live with us when the Grizz.
That would have made me weird. I would have a jealous man wouldn't let that happen. I'll tell you that right now. Are you kissing Grizz?
And so when then
I've seen those videos. Be like, okay, he's gonna wake up in an hour.
Yeah, we got a little bit of time. Just make we're moving the couch real good, and he's not doing anything.
How is he sleeping?
Exactly.
And then the homeless man
stuff your panties in his mouth.
He asked for $1. We gave him $1, and then he's like, "I'm gonna sing you guys a love song."
Oh, I remember that.
And then he's like, "What's your names?" I'm like, "Tom," and then Crystal's like, "Crystal," and then so he's like, "Tom and Crystal." And then he looked at the Grizz, and he's like, "And the judge."
I remember that. I totally remember that.
Because he has gray hair. And then we started calling the Grizz the judge for a long time.
If black people that are homeless are singing and they see a white guy with gray hair, it's the judge.
That's the judge.
That's the judge. Because all white people with gray hair look like a judge.
Yeah.
That's just facts.
So what else you got, Kitty?
So I know I got another failed venture story. I know I talked about the Balloon Fest a while ago.
Yeah.
And then,
You do a lot of odd gigs,
Yeah.
right? You do some odd gigs?
Well, no, this is a historical one that I want to share, and this is Tom. You'll be interested. It's a very let's get 'em type of moment that happens later in the story.
Oh, I love let's get 'em.
Yeah, it's one of those. So in the Philippines, back in '92, Pepsi did a promotion. So you guys, it happens in the States sometimes. You'll buy a bottle of soda, and then like the NCAA had it where you'll like get a college on the cap, and if they win the championship, you win a bunch of money. But they always will put it in people's favor. Like, you're never going to get Duke or UConn on these bottle caps. You're always going to get, like, Middle Tennessee State and, try to do that stuff.
I used to love these, and like there was a certain excitement, I feel like, that you got from these before you realized that everything was rigged.
Oh, yeah.
Like a casino. Like, now we all are kind of aware. Like, my daughter kind of knows any of these contests. She's like, I ain't going to win that. Like, we weren't jaded back in the day. When these first things started rolling out, man, I was all about collecting all the caps.
Yeah. Which, side note, the only one that I think is somewhat doable are those 50-50 drawings at sporting events, because it's for charity, legally they have to pick a winner that was in attendance and bought a ticket that day. So that's at least something where the odds are not in your favor, but at least better than a normal lottery or giveaway or whatever. But in the Philippines, they did that with Pepsi, and you get a 3-digit number, and then, like, for a month, every night they would say, hey, the winning number is 273. And then if you had that bottle, you get, at the time, 1 million Filipino pesos, which is the equivalent of like $8,000 or whatever. And they gave away that.
For one razor blade show. Only one, though. Because they're quick. 5 minutes.
So it became gangbusters. Pepsi sales went through the roof. People were trying to do it, and they ended up making it to where there would only be like 2 winning caps that they distributed, because they obviously knew the numbers, and there were a lot of dead numbers that they knew weren't going to get selected. But it became so popular, Pepsi's like, let's extend it for another 5 weeks.
That's the greed.
Let's do this, because people
press more caps.
Like,
can we make more caps?
They made
Flood the market.
so much money selling Pepsi.
Flood the market with caps. Tom Van, give them all the caps.
They made so much
Just
money.
Just like when I type on a keyboard, all caps.
What I know about business, if I'm making a bunch of money, I want to make more. Every time.
If you can get 2, you can get 4.
I never want to make less.
So because they extended, they had to get a whole new batch of numbers, but the computer system initially was only prepped for that first month. They weren't prepped for another few weeks. So whatever programming that they did, it accidentally generated one of the dead numbers.
No.
So on a night, it released, hey, the winning number is, 349, and 600,000 caps around the Philippines had that number and like were winners. So they all showed up at like the Pepsi headquarters in the Philippines, in Manila, and they were all like claiming their money, and everyone's like, uh-oh, we can't cash all these in.
600,000 people show? Oh, man, that's going to be bad.
It would have cost them like...
That's a bad scene.
Yeah, it would have cost them millions, if not billions of dollars just with all the payouts.
So what'd they do?
So many people. So a bunch of Pepsi executives came in, and they're like, well, this was clearly an error. We will...
Get the fire hoses. Spray them out of here. Spray them out of here.
So a million pesos back then is the equivalent of like $8,000 for US dollars at the time.
Yeah.
So their thing was, hey, we'll offer you guys 500 pesos. Which was like the equivalent of like $10. They were basically saying, hey, instead of the 8,000,
believe it or not, it's a take it or leave it.
Essentially that. Well, people did not like that. And so they started rioting.
We're going to burn this place down!
Especially
I love a good burn it down.
A lot of the Philippines were going through some poverty right now. So, $8,000 or a million pesos. So they started setting things on fire. They started throwing Molotov cocktails into the Pepsi factories.
Gotta do it.
Random Pepsi drivers.
That'll make them pay.
Yeah. Oh, I'll get you.
Like Pepsi delivery drivers had nothing to do with it.
I'll Reginald Denny you.
Yeah, it was a get 'em scenario. So they started like,
Reginald Denny?
This is my job.
They started.
I'm your neighbor. Stop killing me.
I'm sorry. I have to pull you out. I have to beat you with my shoes.
Yep, they were tipping it over, and they were demanding.
I'm going to pour all the Pepsi into the streets.
Well, why are you attacking me?
No.
I'm just saying,
I have to do
shitty
it.
truck driver
I am
working for the company. I hate him too.
I was cheated by Pepsi, and I am in pain, and you will be in pain now too.
Yep, and so they were setting things on fire. There were looting. There were explosions going on.
I loved it. I liked it.
All because they were doing it.
Now, hold
what do you think Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola said,
"Oh, they're laughing."
And the Pepsi execs didn't budge. They still refused to pay out any of this.
Now,
you just put up some plywood and let them riot.
I know that you're going to say, like, these just
You don't know
these
what
things
I'm gonna
happen.
say.
Yeah, I know. Because I do this all the time. Because when I ask this question, of course, the answer is just a simple screw-up with them printing, the dead number as it.
Right.
But you would think that, like, do you want more money? You're extending it or whatever. And then the boss or anybody in charge would say, all right, let's do this, but let's make sure the one thing that we cannot do is
take all of the scratch-off lottery tickets and line them all together so one person buys them and gets all of them, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well...
That happened to us.
Well, yeah. Well, we...
Screwed up.
I am an
But nobody thought of it. No, but not one person thought of it.
We're not $1 billion Pepsi.
You didn't think of it? Nobody working with us thought of it? Like, it just fell through the cracks.
Yeah, but we're a small podunk nothing. This is a giant $1 billion corporation but probably this promotion generated hundreds of millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? There's dozens of employees.
I could make a case that the Philippine arm of PepsiCo is run a little looser than North American.
But you also have to realize, too, this was all based off computer programming that wasn't expected to go beyond the initial run. So whatever programmer... This was in 1992 technology. So, I mean, there were still, a little bit of advancements, but it's not as if you can easily fact check everything to know what dead numbers there are or whatever. I'm sure they were just running off of some programmer who was just like, oh, yeah, it'll work.
Yeah,
and who didn't actually check their work because, no offense, they were probably a Tom Van be like, that's all set. It's fine.
And 92, because it's the 90s, people get tricked in thinking there was technology. 92 might as well have been 85. You know what I'm saying? Before, there was
similar.
there was a few more computers out there, some Oregon Trails, but it was pretty archaic.
Well, it wasn't like consumer grade like what we have now. There were supercomputers and computers that big business were using, but we didn't have access to them. Like we weren't around them.
Yeah.
And Pepsi wasn't. Like now they have full departments. I'm sure that are their own R&D and everything.
So,
but that would have been a new thing that they probably purchased from another corporation.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't any class action lawsuits.
So they tried, and there's still I think they called it Coalition 349, where it was just a bunch of people who were kept trying to sue them. It kept getting, unfortunately, for them, rejected in courts, essentially. There was no legal ramifications because they can always fall back to computer error. Sorry. The only thing Pepsi had to pay $150,000 fine for defrauding on the national broadcast. You know what I mean? Just because they aired the wrong numbers.
Yeah, some nothing. 150,000 is nothing.
Exactly.
And all those companies, they all have fine print stuff that's written by a lawyer that gets them out of everything. There's sentences in the fine print that says if there is a mistake, then we are not liable for a mistake in the drawing or whatever. There's all these.
It's like
outs.
a casino. If you win on a slot machine, the casino technically can go there and be like, nope, this was a glitch on the slot machine.
From our Twitch chat room, it's from Christine. She says, after an emergency meeting, PepsiCo executives at 3 a.m. on the 27th, the company offered 500 pesos, which is about $18, to holders of mistakenly printed bottle caps as a, quote, gesture of goodwill. This offer was accepted by 486,170 people at the cost of to PepsiCo of $8.9 million.
Yeah. But obviously, that's 0.05% of what they were supposed to give away. So the Pepsi executives that were in charge were obviously fired, and it's been so long that anyone in the Philippines who was still a part of it, if they try reaching out to Pepsi's answer is, we have no idea. I mean, we know what you're talking about, but anyone involved isn't with the company anymore, so sorry. 5 people died during these riots.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 5 people died during all the crazy Pepsi riots because of the whole hullabaloo of the Pepsi Bonanza giveaway.
It's once you're throwing Molotov cocktails at the the Pepsi factory, and there's there's fences and barbed wire
in your Nissan Maxima. Oh God, your legs are on fire now.
Well, as you're you're hitting the trucks with baseball bats or whatever.
It's a get 'em.
And then someone falls on the ground, and you're like, oh, they hit him then.
Yeah.
And then he was just the guy hitting the truck with you.
It's like you're whacking ants.
Yeah, but because that person fell on the ground, everybody just turned towards towards him.
Or you don't realize it.
Yeah, it becomes a pinata at some point, and you're just whacking everything, right? I'm just whacking it all.
You think you're aiming for the truck, but your swings off, and you're just caballing someone on the head.
It's hard to see through fire.
yeah. And then you're like, oh my God, we just burned this guy. He was just with us.
Well, you're okay with it, right? Because it is. Well, you understand that going in, you're like, someone may die today at the Great Pepsi riots, right? You understand that when you go into that.
Yeah. It gets out of control.
Or does it get out of hand? Like, you go in there, you're like, hey, guys, look, we're just going to run in. We're going to steal some memorabilia, maybe take a poop on the floor, but we're not going to hurt it. But then it gets out of hand. Right?
Yeah.
It always gets out of hand. Like, you're in there. I'm in the president's office. I got my pants down, and I hear people screaming like somebody's getting shot, and somebody did get shot. I'm like, oh, my God. I just came here to take a deuce. I got to get the hell out of here.
Well, so obviously Pepsi took a huge PR hit, and there's a lot of people in the Philippines who refuse to drink Pepsi because of that entire incident, and their market share crashed.
They're proud people.
Severely.
They'll die on that word. You know, I'm with my friends in the Philippines.
It's one of those cultural things
against Pepsi.
Yeah, it's one of the cultural things where it's like if you go to the Philippines, it is difficult to find a Pepsi because of this incident.
You burned us, dude.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the Philippines because my buddy Andres showed me some YouTube video.
I've seen that. It was a razor blade show. I'm like, how do they do that?
They took the bottle.
And I'm like, how do they do that? They must have the most delicate of touch.
He's like, have you ever seen Filipino karaoke?
I've seen this.
And then I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, the Filipino karaoke. They like, I guess, like in the Philippines, they have an unbelievable. Because of maybe their accent or there's something that makes Filipino people be able to mimic like the greatest singers of all time. And then there's videos of like, and it looks like a smoky, like outside dive bar. And then some guy is smoking a cigarette and he is belting out Celine Dion Titanic song, like exactly like where it doesn't even.
I got a few if you want to.
It doesn't even look real. You're like, no, they just put Celine Dion's voice over this.
No, it's like, this is all real. This is the top 10 viral Filipino singers in the world,
and it's a thing.
There goes my heartbeat, 'cause you are the reason.
Wow, it gets good.
I'm losing my sleep.
Links are all in the description down below, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Thanks to like and subscribe.
This
so there you go.
But I'm talking about like in dive bar karaoke, like there's like he's on a wife beater smoking, and there's like sitting on a scooter, and he is like belting out Whitney Houston.
But
mimicking their voice.
I think they do that a little bit. Like this one's framed a little more impoverished. You know what I mean? Like this one is framed. Watch. I mean, like just look.
If you want to become a great singer,
Oh God, they got me. I'm not giving you the click. Not letting you have it.
So remember, Manny Pacquiao was like an award-winning singer from the Philippines, as well as like a congressman or a senator. And
he was a good singer too. I don't know.
Well, in the Philippines, I don't know if he. But check out Dan. Look up Manny Pacquiao because he released an album out in the Philippines.
He released a music album?
Yeah, no, spoken word, Tom. Yes, music album.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, I remember this singing.
Like you would think that all he ever did was box and had no time to.
Well, and then he became a senator there.
Yeah, here's a Manny Pacquiao. Sometimes when we touch, which is a very famous.
Sometimes when we touch.
It.
That's not Manny Pacquiao. That was me for the radio
It was close though to sounding. Okay, here he is.
I love the dramatic painting of him.
Yeah. Is he a good guy? He doesn't hate the gays or anything?
If I love you and I choke on my reply, I'd rather hurt you honestly than mislead you with a lie.
I miss your dad.
I mean, it's good for Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, but it's
not that good.
I'm with Tom. You know what? I was expecting so much more.
But it's not off key. I will say it's not off key. It's just not the best.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like Francis Scott off key.
Yeah, okay.
But good for him because I didn't think he could sing that well.
Yeah, but there are better people that can sing. Like,
Of course, yeah, but Manny Pacquiao
I
is the
think
most.
even like Russell Crowe or Kevin Bacon or, God forbid, even Steven Seagal with his hit song Punani.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
We've got some Weird Job Wednesday. We've got the guests on
I
the
thought you were
couch.
going to call them weird jobbers.
Oh, should we
I
call
thought you
them
were
weird
going to say
jobbers?
that. That's where I thought you were going. You were like, we've got some weird jobbers on the couch today.
Now, Grant, who,
Yes.
and now full transparency, they are a new sponsor of ours.
Yes.
Um,
We have to say that legally.
Very excited.
No, we don't have to
Very
say that.
excited.
We don't have to say that legally.
But
we
I-
don't have to say anything legally. There's no more legal.
And I don't mean to do this to you, Daniel, but
Yeah, I did what people do to me. I thought about this already. You know why? I was startled. Do you want to know why? I knew you were going to say this. This is how long we've worked together.
Yeah.
Because I knew
I bullied him as soon as he came in.
I knew Grant was coming in today, but I haven't met him. And then when I saw how tall he was,
Yeah.
I got very excited too when he
Yeah.
walked next
I would-
to you.
Do you know what happened? Do you know what happened? I saw it. Do you want to tell the full story?
Yeah.
I saw you come. I could see everything here. Like, I'm hyper aware.
Nice.
Paranoid. OCD, anxiety. I mean, right now I'm just pouring caffeine on my anxiety, and it's all fizzled up. And I saw you walk by. I can see through these curtains. I can see shadows. And I saw you walk by, and you know what? I shook, and I go, "Oh my God, it's Swintus!" I thought he came back. I thought
he is Swenson's
well, no,
tall.
Swintus passed away. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Was it Dwayne Swintus?
I think sounds right.
Center for the Gators. The U of F Gators.
Back in the 90s.
Back in the 90s. I think people really liked him, but I had a legendary beef with him because at the Missed Winghouse 07 competition, he sat in the judge's seat. And guess who was the judge? Little Danny Diddy. And I said, "Hey, Swinsus, get your ass out of my seat."
So, Grant, before we start, how tall are you?
6'7".
Okay, 6'7". That
might
is
be
tall.
taller
I don't
than
know what
Schwitzes.
happened.
Yeah,
He might be taller than Schwitzes.
Yeah, 6'7".
It's weird.
The whole chat room says they look really nervous. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scream so much. I'm
Yeah,
so sorry.
Francesca's here as
Yeah,
well.
she is
How you
here as
doing?
well.
So Grant and Francesca are from Bucket Brigade Drunk Removal.
Drunk removal.
No.
they remove drunks.
I'm sorry, I'm tired. My wife, 4 hours there and back to Tampa. And have you seen the people in Tampa? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
His wife forced him to go see Incubus last night.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
So
Yeah.
he was at Coheed and Cambria and Incubus. He did not want to go. He didn't say one word about it. You know, I asked him this morning. I go, "How was the show?" He goes, "I wouldn't know."
You were supposed to focus on the one thing you liked, right?
That's great. Listen to the show. There was a listener that called in and said, "Pick one thing you
Right.
like, and then just go with that."
All I can think about is, we're staying for the whole Wish You Were Here. Okay. I thought we'd just be walking towards the parking lot last 2 songs, but nope, we're staying to the whole thing. Okay.
Like, oh my God! Like chat room's telling me I got to fix her microphone.
Nice.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just gonna move it.
Nothing like getting home at 1:15ish.
Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah. And the thing is, getting home at 1:15, it's hard to go to sleep. I'm so mad. I tried.
Were you mad the whole way home?
I mean, no, not the whole way, but there
Did you
was
guys
certain
talk
energy.
at all? Because it didn't sound like it didn't sound like they talked at all. Because I did ask him at one point, and my wife even asked. Because my wife
I
messaged
tried.
me this morning and said, "Hey, how was the show?" I said, "I don't know. He hasn't said anything to me." And then I tied back to her. She goes, "How did Crystal like it?" I said, "I asked him that, and he said." He thinks so. I go, did she have a good time? He thinks so. I go, that doesn't sound like it went well.
I mean, how do you show if you're having a good time? She just stood up looking at it. I stood up. I was looking at it.
Did you clap?
I clapped
Okay,
after every song.
all right.
I'm like, all right, there's a clap.
Dance
Although I was
You're like the Japanese watching punk rock. They don't know what to do. They just stand there silently. You know, and at the end of it, they just bow.
do I have to clap? They can't hear it. It's a one clap.
Okay, are we doing Weird Job Wednesday?
Sorry.
You want to do it? Do you want to do it? You want to
let's
do the regular
Let's do it.
song, or do you want to do the spicy song I wrote for them?
Let's do a spicy.
Okay, this is going horrible
love
so
spicy.
far, so we might as well just
That's
blow
going
it
great.
wide. Okay, we're gonna blow it wide open. Tom, I felt. Let's just be honest. This morning, I felt a little heat from you because I said, "Hey, I'm gonna roll with the regular Weird Job song because they are a client, and I don't want to get into the goofy stuff." And then you said, "Well, Like, and now I've started to kind of sink into Hank Hill for your voice, which is really weird. But you guys like are starting to align. You are becoming Hank Hill, but you were like, well, I guess that's one way to handle it. But I know that new is always better than old, right? So I heard him say that. I'm like, oh, God,
that's not the way I said it.
He's calling me lazy.
That's not
An
the
emotional
way.
person heard it. I'm like, this mother effer's calling me lazy. So I wrote a new song. Well, with the help of AI,
Right.
I wrote a Bucket Brigade song.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And I don't know how hard you guys want to go, but since it's
Go hard.
firefighters, and since it's, they're junk fighters, Tom. I don't know if you know
Okay,
this.
all right, junk fighters?
Oh, yeah, on the website they're called junk fighters, and I was inspired by that. It sounded hardcore, and so I present to you the new Bucket Brigade theme. Here we go.
Sitting on your lawn, your wife says, get that BS gone. Do what she says, and you'll get laid. You need to call the Bucket Brigade. Don't say call you a bucket. Don't say call you a bucket. Don't say call you a bucket. Don't say
The dance. You go step to the front,
Dance to it.
to the back. Douse the bucket. Step to the front. Yeah. Dance to the back. Hey, grab your bucket.
Shouldn't it be you should be handing your buckets
No,
to each
that's not
other.
the dance. That's not the dance. The dance is step to the front, step to the back, grab your bucket.
I love it.
There you go.
I love it.
There you go.
Grant, don't encourage him.
No, this is good.
Sweating
You can't play
profusely,
that
I'm
on the
sweating.
radio. We're going to have to beep it out. We
I'll have to
I
edit
love it.
I will have to edit all of that out.
right.
But don't say F it. Call you a bucket. We need
That's
the
right.
Bucket Brigade.
Yes.
All right, so how you guys doing,
How
man?
you doing, man? Yeah, we're
I think
excited.
we
We're
scared
excited
them
to be
good,
here.
Tom. Scared
yeah.
them good.
So let's talk about junk removal. So first, you are a firefighter, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and so this is your side job,
Yes.
which I know some.
You know, in my America, firefighters don't have side jobs.
Well, there's some
Yeah,
time off in between,
Right.
Because you're sleeping at the station the whole time.
Yeah.
Lots of pickleball.
Yeah. Chili. Hey,
Yeah.
you're making your marinara, Tony. Hey.
right.
So when did you decide to start this business?
Funny story, actually. About 4 years ago, I was in my truck driving to work, listening to Weird Job Wednesday.
Okay, all right.
And, I took I went to Tom Van Business School.
Oh, just like you, Tom.
And he said, and you guys were actually talking to a junk removal guy up in Colorado.
Hey.
And, I was like, oh, man,
That man's
I'm
dead now.
Yeah, I'm at work. I got all these guys around me, We're not getting paid very much at the fire department, So we're like, I was like, maybe I'll try doing it, And you were like, you got to do something that people hate doing. And I was like, that's it. We'll start the junk removal.
Junk is it.
That's
He said
it.
Junk is it. Tom Van.
I said we could all
Tom
look some
Van
stuff
told me
up.
junk is it.
There it is.
Tom Van.
That's
That's
Tom
my new
Van's
song.
There
That's
it
my new
is.
song. Tom
So-
Van told me junk is it.
Right.
My business advice that inspired you
Right.
was you have to do something you hate doing.
That's correct.
You say that to your
Everybody
son.
else hates
He
doing
said that
it.
to
Yeah.
his son. His son Max
Yeah.
was like, I really want to play basketball. I was like, that's
Yeah.
not for you. You have to do something you hate.
Yeah, that everybody
really
else
say
hates.
that?
Yeah. They basically saying, somebody, nobody wants to pick up a couch, move it. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to
Yeah,
clean out a house.
Yeah,
you know?
I got you. I love you, Grant. You're my favorite. I love you so much.
I was like, that's we'll go do that stuff. So basically, this guy up in Colorado, he was doing really well up there. How he was talking to you.
Wow, if you talk to if you talk to Tom Vans all around the nation, they're never going to tell you they're doing bad. Show me a Tom Van that ever says he's doing bad.
Yeah, I'll be homeless, and I'll be out there telling you how awesome my
Next
life
big
is.
score.
Right.
You won't believe how much money I just made. I'll show you a screenshot of an app. Anyway,
So
that's an inside
after
joke,
that,
yeah.
a couple months later, we got truck, trailer, started going.
yeah.
I had a couple firemen
Nice.
helping me out, and now we got 4 part-time guys, doing
yeah.
junk removal. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is incredible, dude. I love it.
Now, I will tell you that my wife and Bart have this problem often.
Who's Bart?
Where
That sounds weird. My wife and Bart.
The
Because
Bart
I am in a bit of a little menage.
the barbaric team often, like when someone will be like, moving, and they're like the last couch and dressers and stuff that they don't want.
They gas out.
They're like, well,
I think they gas out.
I just need this stuff out of here. Most people don't have pickup trucks, or they have to hassle their friends
Right.
to, like get them over here. It's like
It's a pain.
Yeah. You just call a junk
And
removal
I'd rather
company.
not bother my friends. Like
Well,
honestly, I'd rather call someone else. Just keep it independent.
We see a lot of. We'll see up on Trash Mountain over there at the landfill. You've visited Trash Mountain over there.
Visited.
Yeah,
He's from Trash Mountain. He's from the hills of Trash Mountain. Do you have your banjo with you?
Someone called me the Prince of Trash Mountain.
Right.
Not yet the king.
Not
We'll
yet.
see.
That's someone else.
Not yet. The king's still in hiding.
You guys know who.
Since the wars.
We'll see a guy with like his Honda Odyssey and like a U-Haul trailer up on Trash Mountain, and I'm like, you know, and he's like, he didn't know what this would entail, just him taking his couch to the dump. You know what I mean?
Usually a Puerto Rican guy with one of those Bluetooths in his ear. Right. They still rock those, man.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to start rocking those.
It's funny the links people will go to like remove trash, let's say from their dead grandpa's house, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like they're renting U-Haul trailers, spending the entire weekend doing this stuff, and there's like, what is this worth to you?
I can attest that when
call Grant.
I can attest that hiring a professional to do it is the only way to do it. I'll never do it myself ever. I told you this. I'll never do it myself
Between the time and the money for the rental trailers, and then it's like you thought it was going to take a day, and it takes 2.5 days, so that's 3 days rental, and it's like, it would have been cheaper to call you.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm a bundler, and like now most of this stuff you want to be there on site to do it. Are there specialty versions? Like if I'm a bundler, like I know how to do I know how to put it in the right way where you're going to make it easy for you.
Yeah.
Is that something you guys
absolutely?
do too?
I mean, that kind of goes into the price too. If you have it out on the curb, let's say, ready to go for us, or in your garage,
This is you all day. They could go by your house every day, and you'd have something new on the curb.
Should we come over for the garage?
No, you're not allowed in there. There's too much precious stuff. It's like Batman's cave at this point. You're not allowed to take stuff out of it.
Okay,
it's real bad. And then recently, I went to a listener's house and I got some more stuff.
He told me. You know what he told me yesterday? He told me yesterday. This guy's got a mental problem. He told me yesterday that he went to some lady's house and got 40 fishing poles. 40 broken fishing poles.
What are you doing with those?
40 broken fishing poles.
No, she was giving it to Andre. Said that no, we got them.
Why are they in your garage?
Well, because once I was there, I'm not
don't say
how it happens.
You need a bucket brigade.
This is what we hear this a lot. We're like, then it just ended up in the garage. And never
just
got rid
40
of it.
broken fishing poles everywhere.
So Grant, tell us about like basically now you service Claremont and west of Orlando area. Now you'll go. I mean, obviously big jobs.
Sure,
Altamont or something. You'll go. Just give you a call.
Absolutely.
And again, it's bucketbrigadejunk.com.
Yep.
Firefighter owned. First responder. Basically, everybody who works for you
we're all firemen.
Is firemen, first responders. Okay. And then so I'm curious, like, how often do you deal with hoarder houses? Because I imagine that
Are you preparing him for yours?
Well, you know what? My buddy's a firefighter, and he told me, he's like, most of the fires in like house fires are hoarder houses.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that makes sense.
So should we, like,
Lots
this is going to sound really bad, but
Right.
should we sort of root for those fires? Right? Like, I mean,
Well, that's why you need-
it stinks out here. Like, maybe it'll burn down.
Well, being a firefighter, you know that fires need fuel, and stacks of newspapers from the ceiling to the floor.
If I were fire, I'd eat those up.
That's all
yummy.
fuel.
Yeah.
And so it's important to, like, if you have some house like that in your family, or like you're dealing with something, like, just call you guys and have them just remove it all.
But what if the person starts screaming like they're crazy? They're screaming, "You're taking my babies!"
Normally what happens is somebody else has to, somebody else will come in and have us come clean the hoarder houses, because if usually they will be like, "Oh no, I need that.
You got to get them. You got to at least have them turn.
You got to get them away.
You got to have them turn to the wall and then sneak a few stuffed animals under your shirt. Get them out.
I like when they're crying that you're throwing away Tupperware.
I like that.
Spaghetti stained Tupperware. And they're like, stop crying.
My wife's very close to that.
It's like,
very, very close to that.
It's like, please don't show us how bad your mental illness is.
You're
it's hard enough as it is.
You're crying, and you don't know what's in that aluminum foil. You have no idea what's under that.
And so, like, I'm curious to, like, did you have an idea of, like, what to even charge, or did you talk to other junk removal places?
We find that to be the hardest thing in starting a business is knowing your worth, or knowing when you're pricing yourself out, or making yourself unattractive to a potential user or something. Like,
or even charging.
That's a great question.
Charging too little, and then you realize, well, after I pay my people and the gas and the diesel, and then
cleaned out all this lady's aluminum foil meatballs, and I got $3.
And guess what? There are fees at the landfill.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you have to pay by weight.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, people are not calculating all this stuff. So, how did you come up with your pricing?
You get burned in the beginning, usually.
Yeah.
You know, you think of a price, you know, and then halfway through the job, you're like, I've made a mistake.
Yeah. I charge way too little.
Yeah.
And
I heard that from you.
And I'm doing this all for free now.
And I'm like, and I'm, you know, listen, if we gave him the price and that's what it is, you know, I'm not going to be like, now it's more. You know what I mean? It's just, you think about it, you learn from it, and then try to fix it for the next one, you know. But it does get expensive. I mean, you gotta pay for your guy, you gotta pay for the landfill, you gotta pay for your fuel, you know, to go around. So, I mean, in the beginning definitely was a little bit tough to get a grasp, you know. And then you find out what like these big junk, like the corporate junk removal companies charge,
it's
and you're
insane.
like. And you know that'll blow you away.
Yeah. I hate big junk. I'm only here for small junk.
Yeah.
I'm only here for small junk, and my wife is too.
Yeah.
Hey, comedy. All right.
Make sure she got that.
Thank you. You know what? A well placed elbow.
Yeah.
You know, because my wife would have said the same thing. She's like, "That's not funny."
Yeah.
Funny at all.
And then a lot of times it's having a bunch of junk for whatever reason gets into like a time crunch where you need it out day of.
Now,
Which I'm sure you deal with a lot of clients that call you and like, can you come today?
It's so crazy that you say that. Yeah. All the time.
Can you upcharge that? Can you put like, yo?
Of course you can.
Like, no, but could you surge price that? Like on the you just go like, I'll do it, but I'm at a birthday party now. Give me 30 minutes. You know, $7,000.
We try to do same day or next day usually.
That's great.
You know, if we're on shift. Yeah. So usually if we're on shift, we'll try to do it the next day. But yeah, I mean, we get guys who are, you know, people who are like, I need this stuff that's been sitting here for 20 years. Gone now.
And they're happy about it. Right? Like they're nice about it.
You're unloading stuff from the 70s. And it's like, well, how did it become such a time crunch?
Right.
And it's usually because like there's some realtor situation.
That's true. Yeah.
Or family that's selling, and it's like we need this stuff out.
We want to cash in Grandpa's house because I need my drugs.
Yeah. And I'm curious, like, have you ever found two things?
Are you fascinated by junk like I am? Because, like, if left in any dwelling, and it's not mine, and there's a bunch of junk everywhere, and if you gave me like 20 minutes, I can't resist not digging around. Like a little. I got to get in there and start looking at everything.
It's mostly junk. But
like sometimes you find hold on, let me explain. Sometimes you open a drawer and then there's like an old stamp in there, and you look at it, and it's like 1941. You're like, where the hell that come from? Or old clipping about a murder or something. You're like, whoa.
We got a piece of the Berlin Wall one time.
Oh my god!
I was picking up this bag of concrete, and I'm like looking at it, and this guy's like, "Yeah, it's a piece of the Berlin Wall right there." I was like, "Really?"
A lot of rednecks in Deltona used to go around trying to sell pieces.
And I was like, "What do I do with this? I don't know." I didn't know what to do with it.
Deltona Berlin Wall.
There's no way that's a piece of.
I have no clue what it was.
Hey, you want about this Berlin Wall?
It was just a bag of concrete that he claimed. That's what he claimed. I have no idea.
Yeah, we had Butler. We had a guy that worked here that claimed that he had some rust from the Titanic. People do crazy things for drugs.
And then I being like, oh, really? A Berlin Wall? As you're putting it in the garbage.
Oh, this is great.
And then you just put it in the rest of the garbage. Then you're like, I don't care what you're saying.
Just put a dirty teddy bear over it and just cover that up.
And a lot of people, because of those shows where like people bid on the storage unit, and then they find like, some Mona Lisa in there.
It's all set up. It came out years later. It really broke my heart, man, because I'm not that smart. It broke my heart that they were like hiding those things in there. The producers would go and they take like an ammo case from like the Army. And then they'd slide like important documents or like a signed picture of Marilyn Monroe or something in there. Then
We've done a lot of storage units. No Marilyn Monroe.
Exactly. That's coming from Grant.
There's nothing in there. What's under that pile of spaghetti stained?
Is a body or a cat.
Tupperware.
Skeleton.
More spaghetti stained Tupperware. It's all garbage. But have you ever? What I imagine there is probably biohazards and things like that. And being a firefighter, I'm sure being a firefighter, and that kind of gives you the training to know how to deal with like potential hazardous materials and chemicals, right?
That's that. kind of reminded me of this one job. We ended up not taking it, but this guy hit us up and he's like, yeah, you mind cleaning this place out? And we're like, yeah, sure, He's like, yeah, there's a hoarder in there. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, he passed away inside the house. Just let us know when you find him, and then we'll take him out, and
That's
then
what
you
I'm
can
talking
continue.
about. I'm the guy for your job.
And
I'm the guy for that job.
what?
Send me in.
And he's like,
Send me
yeah.
in like one of those bomb robots. Tie a rope around my waist.
And I was like, I don't think I'm like, I don't know if I'm qualified for dead body
You
retrieval.
didn't want to go in there and poke him with
I was
a
like, we
stick?
can't do
I gotta
that,
go in there and
man.
poke him with a stick.
Yeah.
Well, what? You have to call the cops.
No.
Yeah, the cops apparently were on board.
Don't let the cops.
Apparently, the cops were like, yeah, just let us know when you find him.
That sounds like
Yeah.
cops to me. Yeah,
Hold on,
that sounds right.
And I was like, really?
This is not some third world
wouldn't-
country. This is
do it.
America. There's a dead body. Yeah, there's like detectives have to go in there and figure out what's going on.
Just died of natural causes. I just want to go in there and poke him a little bit to see if he poofed up.
They weren't sure. They were like, just if you find somebody in there, stop. And I was like, I don't know, man. That sounds like a bigger
I'll stop
scenario.
after I
than,
TikTok it.
Yeah.
Hey, world star.
Well, Grant, before we move forward, I have a story about junk removal for you. There was a buddy of mine.
Really sad about that.
There was a buddy of mine in college, and I was the only
Was
friend.
it the judge?
No, it was a different one. And I was the only friend that had a pickup truck. So one day he calls me. He's moving from one apartment to the other. And
You got your friends? Surprising.
and then he calls me and he's like, hey, I have to move this. I have a bar with some stools that was on my back patio. I'm going to move it. You know what it is because it's the one that was in my Deltona house. And so he's like, I got a bar with stools that.
Was that your fly-infested patio?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, I have to get this out of here. Can you just take it to the dump for me? And then I'm like, yeah, I'll go by and do that. He's like, all right, cool. I'll give you $10 for gas money.
$10.
So I go over there.
Good friend.
And then I pull wait for
for anybody.
go-
Even for you, Grant. He's known you an hour. He'll do anything for you.
I go over there, and then I look. I'm like, this is a nice bar. You know what? I'm just going to take this from my house in Deltona. And then when he heard me say I'm going to take it from my house, he's like, $30. What?
Yeah.
He tried to charge me for it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a bold move.
It's a guy I knew since high school.
It's a bold move right there.
That's when I realized being cheap was a mental illness.
It is.
And I'm like, that's a mentally
It's
ill
in
thing to
there,
do.
man.
You called me to take this to the dump, and then you saw that I was interested in keeping it, and you tried to charge me $30.
You tried to get me.
Did you buy it?
No, I didn't buy it. I said, screw you. I threatened to break it.
He
there.
did threaten to break it, but I knew he wanted it a lot. He was never going to break it.
I'm about to throw these chairs through your car window. I called him mentally ill, and I just took it. But anyway, so Grant, now if anybody just wants any junk removed,
Sure.
Claremont, west of Orlando,
Yeah.
or anywhere, just give you a call, right?
Yeah. You'll get Francesca over here. She's on the phone, so you'll talk to her. Tell them you heard us on Tom and Dan. We're doing $20 off for anybody who says they heard us on Tom and Dan.
awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
Well, we appreciate you advertising with us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're excited.
Very nice to meet you.
I like the side hustle. I like any entrepreneur that's building his company, and because you start getting other firefighters, and then you could do this all across.
And
Central
I feel like
Florida.
you're one of the bigger firefighters, so no one's ever going to challenge you like on a pirate ship.
Right.
You're never going to have even your first mate. I never feel like is going to even if he's like, I don't like the way he's handling.
Yeah, we got
the
a couple
junk.
big guys.
Yeah. I feel like you're the top dog, so
Yeah.
they'll always respect you, and
Okay.
you'll always stay in line.
So, and this may be awkward to
important.
talk about, but there's a certain.
Are you really, dude?
No. There's a certain aspect of
Really,
being a
man?
firefighter.
Right. Oh, okay.
And then also junk removal for whatever reason. I went to your website and I see there's a lot of muscular firefighters.
Tatted up. They're like a tatted up baddies on there looking to sling some ding dong.
All good looking.
Look like a calendar shoot on there.
And then, I'm just, throwing this.
My wife would be very happy if the firefighters came by to get rid of the refrigerator that's broken in my garage.
Yeah, you roll up your sleeves, you
Yeah,
take it out, and then there's some granny there, all hot and bothered. I'm sure there's an element of that, Grant, that you have factored in. On Francesca, I'm sure you thought of that yourself.
Right.
A very good-looking man here, and
I thought you were gonna bore it.
Yeah.
Very nice. That's what you're going to say. I'm like, this guy's losing his
But
mind.
have you thought of that and how that plays into it? Because I think there's an
There is a
element
play there.
of that.
Right.
There's an upcharge, I
Right,
feel
right.
like.
Yeah.
I think you got a shirts off upcharge.
Yeah. I know the movies you're talking about. Yeah, I'm aware.
I'm here for the couch, man.
Yeah. Or if I saw slobjunk.com, I'm not calling them. I'm calling the firefighters.
That's
Right.
when I slowly close my book that says slobjunk.com.
Yeah.
My
If I had-
side hustle that I was starting.
If I had an option, I'm calling the firefighters to remove my
It's
junk.
true.
You know?
It is true. You want, and Bucket Brigade's got good alliteration, I feel
It
like.
does.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, bucketbrigadejunk.com.
Go
And
there.
$20 off if you mention Tom and Dan.
Yes,
and
sir.
if you need some junk removed, just call them. It's
Yeah.
the easy. I guarantee you, renting U-Haul trucks and spending all day long. What are you doing? Because here's what happens. During that time, you will say to yourself, I would pay anything to stop this right now. I will anything. $10,000. I don't care. This is so miserable.
Yeah.
And I do that every time. And I'm like, I am not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So, Grant, Francesca, thanks
Cool.
so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah, thanks for being here,
Yeah.
y'all. We will take a quick break. Come back with more. What are we
Right
gonna
back.
say? Oh, right back? Okay, right back.
Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Ross McCoy's here. How you doing, Ross?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Ross McCoy.
It's me.
The Orlando Talk Show with Ross McCoy.
Yes.
So-
Last episode, did you have Austin Kleeman
We
on?
had Austin Kleeman, who's going to be on the Mo Comedy Jam
Yeah, man.
tonight. Is that tonight?
Yes, tonight.
At the Funny Bone.
I'm on my way there.
So you guys were talking meatballs, before we started.
Are you forcing yourself to
Yeah,
have a little fun and you're going to talk about a treat you don't eat?
No, I got a question for
That's
you.
my daughter's favorite foods. You better slower your roll. Meatballs are very important in the Dennis household.
That's like everything your wife hates to eat in ball form.
My daughter loves meatballs and meatloaf. She is of the packed meat cooking variety, and nothing makes me happier that she loves both.
So let me ask you a question about the meatball.
I love a meatball.
All right. So what's the correct size a meatball should be?
So, there's different kinds of meatballs.
Because every once in a while, like Italian restaurant will do the mega one ball,
Yeah,
Right.
The jumbo.
and they'll just be like, "All right, we got one
They do
mega
that
ball."
big elephantitis.
yeah, and then so it'll be like a mega meatball.
Yeah, I think that's a flex.
And so, and it's kind of too much, and kind of like
I'm looking at you, Booga de Beppo.
Yeah,
You did that. And most people called it Booga de Peppo. It was Beppo.
and
You fools.
And then other like restaurants will go, different. The
Tiny
spectrum of
meatballs. It's like
too tiny.
It's like a Tic Tac. Come on.
And-
Well, they have different places, right? Like, so I would say, and I'll see what Ross says. I would say if you're getting an appetizer, Mellow Mushroom used to be an advertiser. Shout out to those guys. We love them.
Oh.
They do it right. You get like 2 or 3 medium balls for your appetizer. If it were in a sub, it would either be smaller balls or those larger balls would be cut in half to... you want to spread out. You want the right ratio of meat and cheese, and oregano, and all the different and sauce.
well, I was about to say,
It's like listening to Einstein talk about meatballs. It's amazing.
I feel like the perfect size meatball
Yeah.
should be able to go simultaneously from your spaghetti plate to the sub.
Yes.
Unified meatball theory, Tom? Are you serious?
Unified meatball theory is the
Yeah,
funniest thing you've ever said.
And you should never cut your meatballs to
I don't
fit
like
onto
to.
your sub.
I don't like to do that.
You'll blow up the goddamn atmosphere. You can't split the
dangerous,
meatball.
splitting meatball. I mean, you got it right. I like to see. In my mind, the meatball unsplit has the integrity of the crust because I like my meatballs to have a little I don't like for them to be mushy. I like for them to have been braised and then put in the sauce. So there's a good combination of like crust or not char. You know what I'm saying?
Forgive me for bringing it always
Please,
back to
yeah,
tots,
take
but
it back, take it back.
like the Orlando Talk Show, hashtag Tots with Ross.
Yeah.
It's like a tater tot. You don't want a tater tot cut in half. You want that crispiness on the outside and that soft goodness on the inside. So no, you can't cut the meatball in half.
Yeah, and I like golf. Most of the chat room saying golf ball. And,
Okay,
then,
all
and
right.
then appetizer, though, I would accept slightly larger for an appetizer.
If it's plated
Yeah.
by itself, a
Yeah.
little bit of sauce, maybe a crust of bread, yeah.
Yeah, a piece of whole milk mozzarella.
Like
or
a
something.
2 golf
Yeah.
ball max.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like the idea of consuming the meatball in one bite instead of multiple bites because I feel like it's made to be consumed in one bite. Because then,
you're right.
because then your next bite is half the meatball. And
Yeah.
it's not as
And they fall apart.
I want the whole, yeah.
Yeah.
Like so, the crust on the outside, so it should be like small enough to be consumed in one bite.
Now, you have a meat eater in your life now. I have heard
Tommy, yeah,
heard
he'll
tell
eat
that-
meatballs.
Okay, I was going to ask if he was into the meatballs because I do know he loves a good hot dog, which nothing's made me prouder than finding out that Tommy Van loves a hot dog.
Oh,
he
he
looked
loves
a
that.
real one, right?
Oh yeah, foot long, big.
yeah, a coney.
Yeah,
a big
yeah.
old baseball hot dog.
Yeah, loves hot dogs,
Hell yeah.
cheeseburgers,
Hell yeah.
meatballs, all things meat.
Where are you getting a foot-long hot dog today? Like,
Yeah, the bowling alley still has them.
You know
okay.
what? It is an underappreciated, though. I mean, you could get one at Primrose.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But like,
Universal has the foot long hot dog.
but Ross brings up something very interesting.
$43.
It used
But,
it used to be easier to find a foot long.
I
want to
say, yeah, they were up
it's-
out and about.
Well, big hot dogs they took a hit because it became very unhealthy.
Right.
Bacon took the same hit, and now I'm being told that hot dogs and bacon are completely fine because it's uncured. Somebody told me this the other day. They're like, no, it's uncured, so you don't have all those nitrates, so it's fine. It's absolutely fine. You're good. It's good to go. You're good. A lot of sodium, but other than that, you're good. Is that true?
I have no idea. Because there's so many things like that's bad for you. Not that bad. What does that mean?
Yeah.
What's that?
Like, remember when it was like every piece of bacon takes off 5 minutes of your life?
Yeah.
I heard that on the Jim Colbert show, by the way. The land of misinformation.
You know what we've been doing a lot lately? Costco. We slapped together like a pallet of Spam, and we got a pallet of cans of pineapple chunks. Dude, throw a can of each into the skillet and fry it up with a little rice. Man, that's some good stuff right there.
You got a
Spam fried
full
rice is-
pallet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, essentially. Yeah, basically,
That's a lot.
Were you a Spam guy growing up? My dad was spamming eggs.
You know, okay.
Oh, dude, Spam all the time.
Let's talk Costco, Ross.
Yeah,
because
sure.
I know you're a Costco man.
Kirkland until I die.
You know why you said Costco man? He can't legally. You can't say we're Costco guys because those are influencers.
Yeah.
Really? You know what I'm talking about?
The Costco guys?
You don't know AJ and Big Turd and Rizzler and like all the guys. You don't know what I'm talking about?
Big Turd in the Rizzler.
It's like AJ. The
Sounds like
dad's
guys that
name is-
Batman beat up.
The dad's name is AJ, and he's the guy that's always like in the black Under Armour rash guard with the black hat, and he's like, "Of course we eat a chicken bake while we're walking around Costco. We're Costco guys." You don't know what I'm talking about?
That's not in my
okay,
algorithm.
Hold on, I got to pull up the Costco guys. You haven't seen the Costco guys?
No,
That's got to be in your algorithm, dude. They're like the biggest influencers in the world right now. Costco guys.
And they're just guys that walk around Costco.
It's a man and his fat sons, and they walk around Costco eating all the treats and yelling into the camera. Yeah, the Costco.
So it's all Costco. It's not, never
they
any
just
other
do-
stores.
They just do Costco. It's a father and son.
Can't call yourself the BJ's guys.
It's father and son, and I don't even think, I'm not even going to say, I'm even going to say nice things about the kid. I hate them all. I hate them. I hate the whole family. I used to be cool with kids, like don't say anything bad about the kids. But then I realized that it used to be the same laws for movies. They were like, don't show any murdered kids. But now we can murder everybody. And all the kids die. They put boners in movies. So I'm just going safety off.
Okay.
I'm just going safety off. I hate the family.
Pet Cemetery rules. Kid dies in a movie, you can say whatever you want.
I hate the Costco guys, so here they are. Here are the Costco guys for you, Tom.
Also, if the parents of the kids are putting them out onto social media and purposefully
he's
making
telling them
look
word by
stupid.
word. There's a video of him yelling at him word for word what they're supposed to say.
Oh, my God.
Like
He's
Baby
like,
Girl.
say this, say this, say this. Here they are. Here are the Costco guys.
Okay.
I'm going to play this one.
Guys, of course we go shopping while eating a chicken bake.
We're Costco guys. Of course we had to try the new double chunk chocolate cookie.
We're Costco guys. Of course we have to try out the furniture.
We're Costco guys. Of course we work out with the tires.
You're right. I do hate them.
Yeah, right? Don't you hate
What the heck
them?
is this thing?
Don't you hate them so bad, the Costco guys? I hate the Costco guys.
Yeah, I have so much hate in my heart.
How do you feel about the Costco? Not that
I hate
Do you
them.
hate them? All right. Consensus that we all hate the Costco guys.
Yeah. And
I don't really hate the
How
kids.
many
Let me
views
preface.
does that have?
Oh, this is billions. This is in the billions. I didn't want to make you mad this early, but yeah, the Costco guys are they'll make more money than you'll ever make. How about that?
Do you understand how hard I've worked in my career?
Well, you should have gone and eat cookies with your fat son, and you could be rich. There you go.
Because they have nothing.
No.
There's nothing to that.
Do you know
It's
how many-
just literally.
Do you know how many times Ross
I shouldn't
drove?
hate the kid, and I don't really hate the kid. Let me preface, because I don't want to take heat for this. I
Ross
don't really
used
hate
to
the kid. I hate
drive
the
the-
dad a lot.
Drive to Tampa.
For $3.
Dude,
$5,
and do
$5?
stand up outside in the heat
For $5.
for $5 just to learn how to get better at his craft, and we can't get as many views as the stupid Costco.
Yeah. Of course, we just
fatos.
walk around eating all the food in this big warehouse. We're Costco.
We're
guys.
Costco guys. Of course, we buy 85 eggs for $5. You're just saying stuff that happens at Costco.
It's not even funny.
You're just listing their products.
Also, no one does curls with the tires. That's not a thing.
It's okay. So the kid's name, you're gonna love this. The dad's name is AJ. The guy, the big one, that goes the chocolate double chunk cookie. The little kid, his name is Big Justice.
No.
So it's AJ, Big Justice, and then there's a chubbier kid that rides a bike. His name is the Rizzler, and then they have a daughter. They have a daughter too. But it's terrible.
They're not even saying funny, interesting things.
You're
that
just sour grapes because you and Tommy and Max didn't think of it. If you guys are walking around Costco, hey, of course we lift the tires.
We're Costco guys. Of course, we put our cart on this side and then we stand on that side. You're just saying stuff that you do. Everybody does at Costco.
We're Costco guys. Of course we use cardboard to make sure our detergent doesn't roll around in the back.
We're Costco guys. Of course, we show our receipt to a guy on the way out. Everybody does.
We're Costco guys. Of course we masturbate on the TV aisle.
you go too far.
We're Costco guys. Of course we kick a logorrhea under the baseball card.
We're Costco guys. We call the plants the N-word.
We're Costco guys. I choked out my wife in the frozen food because she was being a real irritating whore. We're Costco guys.
So
That's a fun voice to do, by the way. I might have to bring AJ and Big Justice back.
So
God bless him. I'm a little jealous. I'm low-key jealous that me and Maisie are not the Costco guys.
what happened to you were not allowed to film inside corporations?
Yeah.
Like,
How about gyms?
Can't stop us.
Half of every video on the internet right now has been filmed in a gym.
yeah. Well, I remember
They can't stop us.
in 2003.
It was a better time. It was a better time.
Me and Logic Man Andy walked inside a Walmart, and he had a handheld.
That was your problem.
He
was holding the big old Panasonic.
it wasn't the shoulder
In a
mount.
big Magnavox.
It was like a mini DV, handheld.
He's taping directly to VHS.
Fish eye skateboard camera.
You were going full Beastie Boys.
You guys drove the news van inside.
And I forgot what I was going to jump into the balls.
Oh, look at this guy. Oh, modern day Mr. Beast, everybody.
Or whatever.
We have Logan Paul.
And as soon as the employees saw Andy with that camera, they
Hey, skinny man.
they ran over and they're like, "You can't film in here. Get the hell out!" Like they were kicking us out as soon as we walked in.
Yeah, they would put your hands on you too. Back then they would physically push you out. You'd be like nowadays you're like, "Don't you put your hands on me!" TikTok justice.
So now you can just do whatever you want.
And nobody can put their hands on you.
And you can have a channel of millions of views, and Costco's not suing you.
There are I was going to get to that.
Sue them.
I believe, and I'll have to look it up, but I believe there is a new controversy with AJ, the Rizzler, and Big Justice. They have gotten into some trouble. I feel confident that Costco does not like what they're doing.
They if I had to guess, they're selling like Costco guys T-shirts or something.
Oh, they definitely have.
And you can't do that.
They definitely have merch.
The problem is, you would think they're just giving Costco free advertisement, right? But the problem is, Costco Costco is like, well, what happens if you guys become beloved? And then all of a sudden AJ is, like Daniel says, is throwing his wife down the stairs drunk, or saying horrible.
Of course we choke a bitch out for cheating on you, because that's what you do. We're Costco guys. I'm losing my mind.
He's saying horrible anti-Semitic things or whatever, and then it's like Costco doesn't want their brand associated because they have no control over what the hell this guy does.
Of course we're prepared for January 6th part 2.
They don't
ready to go.
And that's really the problem.
Of course, we're Costco guys. Of course there's underage girls in our DMs. That's every influencer.
We're tracking like a mug.
And honestly, that's the problem why a lot of these social media influencers can't make money is because the corporations can't trust them to
It's outside their control.
Yeah. And if you worked for iHeart or some other corporation, they feel more safe because they're like, well, at least they've been vetted. Their corporation is like looking over you.
Okay.
These guys are just
to make it worse.
Did they go to Sam's Club?
Do you know who AJ, Big Justice, and the Rizzler are beefing with?
Oh, Baby Gronk.
Baby Gronk.
No, yeah. Well, they're taking Baby.
And Baby Gronk just released a diss track against the Rizzler.
Wow.
Yeah. Baby Gronk releases diss track targeting the Rizzler and the Costco guys. Baby Gronk, who gained popularity with his nickname referencing NFL star Rob Gronkowski, has been in the spotlight for his football skills and social media presence. Baby Gronk, you want to hear it?
Oh,
it's called Rizzler. It's called Rizzler of Oz.
I'm the Wizard of Oz. Yeah. Sigma. Can't be my friend if you really ain't sick.
I mean, it sounds as good as anything else out there, right?
No.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Russ, you used to drive the Tampa all the way, and then it was hot outside.
Harry is criticizing the Rizzler.
Big Justice and the Rizzler. Your dads just want fame and attention. Your dads are feeding you bad food just to get famous. At least my dad trains me and feeds me healthy. You're this close to getting diabetes. We all need to live. We all need to eat.
Oh, he's calling him fat.
But that kid famously, like his dad tells him every single word to say.
Oh yeah, they're the same person yelling at each other.
So this is like the two dads on the opposite side of the little league field screaming at each other because their kid can't shortstop or whatever, except online for social media.
These are the people
Amazing.
that would throw resin chairs at me when I was a soccer linesman. These guys. These are the guys that would throw things at me and yell at me.
I feel like this is what our listeners think when me and EJ fight.
Who are you, Baby Gronk? Are you the Rizzler or Baby Gronk?
They're just sitting back laughing. They're like, these guys
They're
are
like, look, they're unfortunate. They're doing unfortunate things. I know.
Nothing.
I'm sorry.
It's such a digital garbage.
Ross, I'm sorry. I hit him with the Costco guys, and I knew he wasn't ready. And I know that stuff makes him really mad, and it makes me mad too because I hate them. I hate them so bad. But they're here.
We didn't even get to Tom's Costco question.
And there was another update. And I know our listeners like to hear this, especially BDM Gary. But Hawk Tua got booed again. She threw at the pitch at like a Mets game or something, and she got booed again. And then all the commentators, even on TV, were like, well, this is just goddamn embarrassing now. But not about her. They were like, we're a better organization than that. We shouldn't make baseball just a laughing stock. What are we, a bunch of clowns?
But they have a bunch of clowns throughout the first pitch. They got Steve-O out there.
Kelly out there.
At least she didn't sing the national anthem.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So back to Costco.
Let's go. I do with a hot dog.
We're back at Costco. Mm-hmm. The chat room's back on meatball subs because apparently we lit that fuse.
I hadn't I talked about on the show. Crystal took me to Costco. I hadn't been there in 15 years or whatever.
Crystal took me to Costco.
Did she let you pick out a toy?
Well, I got some this big jumbo thing of fertilizer for my plants.
Oh yeah.
Then I got this water timer and then some outdoor stuff and I'm
cool.
oh,
you found the middle of the Costco.
Yeah, the middle.
Middle is the best.
And there's some good stuff over
and
there.
then I got
seasonal.
I got a new adventure backpack cooler that was
I like
super
how you
cheap.
Throw adventure on there. Why don't you just call it? I got another Daddy has to drink while we're adventuring cooler.
and then I was like, this is all. They got a bunch of awesome stuff. So then
floats and stuff.
And then you got down into books, and you're like, no, thank you.
yeah, I don't want to
Trying to cut back.
And so then the next time Crystal went to Costco, I was like, well, I'm in. And then so we all went to Costco again.
No, you're
and then,
Costco guys. Oh my God. You are. You're AJ. You're Big Justice.
So then
you have to do a video with your family.
So then I wanted, because I ran out of all the fertilizer. So I was like,
that's what AJ said.
So I wanted to buy another big jug of fertilizer.
What are you growing? How quick did you go through this fertilizer?
He's on this new kick where he's like, just pour gallons of it in your plant. He was telling me this. He's like, buy the biggest jug of fertilizer you can and just pour it on everything.
Yeah.
You understand the wash-off goes into your lake and pollutes.
We over-fertilize. Of course we do. We're Costco guys.
So then I get there, and they completely have new stuff.
Yeah, seasonal.
And then they don't have the same stuff they did.
Yeah.
And then they don't have as good of a stuff they did last time.
No.
And then also I was like, what the hell?
Probably you got the tail end of the summer stuff.
Okay.
And now we're into fall, so you're going to have like your giant werewolf stand-up guy.
Okay.
You're going to have like weird racks of kids' costumes. I always wonder who buys their kids' costume at Costco, because there's like 2 choices and they have just a million of them. So it must be like...
I may have gotten a Costco outfit once and again.
Every year it's like we got Wolverine for the boys and we got Princess for the girls, and there's a million of them.
One of the 2 most popular costumes.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that they change stuff constantly, and Crystal told me, I was like, oh yeah, they constantly bring in new stuff, and then they have the new stuff. And
You
I
would
was
know that if you're a true Costco guy.
Well,
Right. If you do your first shop at Costco and you notice that like you're shopping on the ground level, and above you in racks stretching into the clouds above you, there's just pallets and pallets of stuff they're waiting to sell.
Yeah, it's like new stuff.
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed. I wanted the same old stuff they had.
Maybe you're a Sam's guy.
And
or
then-
a BJ's
I don't know.
boy.
Maybe he might be a Food Lion guy.
I think it's Costco guy, Sam's man, BJ boy. I think that's how they all go.
And then I went to go admire the Costco 86 for $9.99.
Gone.
And it's gone.
Yeah.
That was a sale.
I had a listener tell me, I didn't want to tell you that either. I don't tell him any of the bad news, but we had multiple listeners email and say, the 86er's gone. And I'm like, no!
I thought nowadays that every sale was BS and they always just had it there.
No.
And it was like they actually...
Normally that means that the small factory that was making that crappy TV burned to the ground. It happened with the hat. We had these Tom and Dan hats really early on that were blue and had scrambled eggs on them like your grandpa wears.
Yeah, the gold braid.
And the factory burned down. You know why? I know, because I called. And they told me, because they have
no more.
They have English counterparts there, and they're like, I'm sorry, man, those 2 factories that made the red and blue Tom and Dan scrambled eggs hat, they had a horrible fire, and they all burned down.
We're trying to get more pens for Holobox.
Can't do it.
And then Tony's Chinese pin guy.
He died in the fire, too. He died in the fire.
Tony's like, he won't get back to me.
Yeah,
I was
he's
like,
dead.
what Chinese pin guys a dime a dozen. There's a bunch. And apparently, Tracy's been looking, Eric, scouring the internet. We cannot find some company.
Not for this price point.
To make some more Chinese pin garbage for us.
I can explain Chinese manufacturing to you later, but let's stick with Costco for now. Okay. You're going to discover the joy of seasonal Costco, though, is like your summer stuff is gone, but now your fall stuff is coming in, and you know what you have to look forward to? Stag chili.
Oh,
Stag chili's pretty damn good.
Hold on, what's Stag chili?
Stag chili is this canned chili that they stock at Costco between I'm going to say like late September and like early maybe February or so. It's like it's beefy. It's great like ratio of beans and veg to meat and it's and you can only get it at certain times at Costco.
This is the one I like, Silverado beef. Have you had that one?
It's chili in a can, and it's actually good?
Canned chili, really good canned chili. Yeah, big chunks of meat.
I mean, as far as canned chili goes, it's pretty damn good. I got to go with Ross on this one. We share a lot of flavors, though, admittedly, me and Ross.
It's not that, like, you know how every canned chili is just ground beef, basically, and, like, some kind of lame sauce?
Yeah.
Big chunks of beef in the Stag.
All right.
Now,
but
if we're going to talk chili, I got a new one. Because on hot dogs, I don't put chili with beans. I put hot dog sauce, which is really just flavored meat.
Yeah.
My mouth's watering. And now, the place that has the best, like that I like, was a company. There were 2. Bunker Hill, which is really hard to find, and Castleberry would have been second.
Sure.
Castleberry to try and overtake Bunker Hill for hot dog sauce, which I know is trash food.
Oh, I had a Castleberry chili this morning.
They added different flavors. They have a smoky, they have an onion, they have a habanero, they have a jalapeno.
Whole hot dog sauce.
Yeah, they have, and it's all different, like fancy hot dog sauce. So now when you make hot dogs, you can buy Castleberry hot dog sauce, but it's like crazy flavors of it. The habanero one slaps. It slaps.
Castleberry's the only manufacturer. I don't think you can find it around here, but they were the only manufacturer that I was aware of for quite some time that did a canned Brunswick stew.
Yes, and a canned barbecue.
God, canned
Did you
Brunswick
ever
stew.
have Castleberry's canned barbecue?
I don't think so.
I have an interesting story about this. I don't know if I've ever told. Me and my father, after every Sunday at church, my mom played organ at the church, we would have to go to both services. I wasted a lot of my life at church. And because I would be there at 8:30 for the first service and watch my mom play. Then I'd go to Sunday school. Sunday school would start around 9. And then we'd meet down in the fellowship hall like around 10:15, eat a couple of donut holes and, like a little cup of orange juice. Then you go back up for 10:30 and sit until like 11:30. Then you're out. Then you're
God,
free. Yeah.
That's a whole morning from 8:30
trust
till
me.
noon.
Yeah. 8 till noon. It was.
Did you ever bitch and not want to go?
Oh, me and my dad all the time. Yeah, all the time. I wanted to go surfing. He wanted to watch wrestling or football or, or
just
we
enjoy a nice hangover.
Yeah, or just like float in the pool in the morning because that's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to do that. So, but our favorite meal after church was Castleberry canned barbecue. I've always liked barbecue, but almost in any iteration, like even if it's crappy barbecue. And trust me when I tell you, Castleberry's canned barbecue, pretty crappy.
Is it pulled pork or something?
It is pulled pork,
Okay.
but it's different than like the way that we get pulled pork. And this is the first barbecue I ever had. Was Castleberry canned barbecue. It's just pulled pork in a can, but the sauce is like kind of around it. It's kind of like stewed pork. Like when you think pulled pork now, you think of pulled pork undressed, dry, smoked. You see the red color, smoke ring.
Yeah.
You see all of that. You pull it apart. You see the fat striations. You see the meat. This didn't look like that. It kind of looked like that, but that had been sitting in sauce for an eternity.
Like crock pot barbecue.
Yes, It looked like crock pot barbecue. So my dad and I, when you heat it up though, and put it on a toasted bun, it goes, dude. It's pretty darn good. Except for the one day my dad and I bought it, and we put it in the thing. We used to put it in like a little pot, and you'd simmer it on low, and you just keep stirring it gently until it would kind of liquefy a little bit more.
It's like
and then
bubbling.
and then you put it on your bread, and make your barbecue sandwiches. Well, I looked down in this one.
Your dad would salt it.
We made our sandwiches. He would salt it. And we made our sandwiches, and I looked down, and what appears to be on my barbecue is a fully non-ground up or pulled aorta. Yeah.
Oh, gross.
Like a full... Like I was a gifted high-level science, and I'm like, is that a goddamn I'm like, I didn't know goddamn. I'm like, is that an aorta? It was a ventricle. It was a ventricle. It was a valve. I lost it. That was it. That was the end. Like it literally went for both of us because we both had weak stomachs. A Gagman, right? That's Gagman Senior and Gagman Junior.
Gross.
I'm Gagman Junior. He's Gagman Senior. It started with him. The anxiety belly. It started with him. We're like, we're freaking out. Yell, Carol. My dad's yelling for her mom like she could. Carol, there's a goddamn aorta in the. We got an aorta, and she's yelling. We're throwing it out, and then from that point on, I kid you not, we went from Castleberry canned barbecue being our favorite food to being our absolute least favorite food. That was the last day I ate it. That was it.
You got off lucky, and I'll explain. We
never again.
When we were a little bit,
and it's still over there, Ross.
The barbecue.
Yeah, the barbecue's still in a can over there. We can buy it and warm it up today. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell.
So when we used to have to save a little bit of money on the food budget, I would make cases for these, for example, these 25-cent a pack hot dogs are just as good as the $4 a pack Hebrew Nationals or whatever. And I think it was Gwaltney brand. I could be wrong about that, but they're always down there at the cheap end of the aisle. So we bought this pack of hot dogs one day, and I cooked them up, and I put one in a bun, and I bit in, and it felt like there was a rubber band in the hot dog, and it was a tuna 2.5-inch piece of vein. Yeah.
You were eating a weenie.
They must make it through the grinding process or something if you're not too, because I've gotten veins in bad meat.
Not like a vein.
That's what it.
It'll ruin your appetite.
It was like you could see where. On the part that wasn't ground, you could see where the little part fit onto another organ. What is that, like a gusset? You could see a gusset, like where it had been connected and it had a function. Yeah. And that's why my dad and I were out. They still sell that stuff, though. They still, and sometimes I'll walk by because I put it in the same category. And the reason I thought of it even this weekend, I love chipped beef and eggs, chipped beef and gravy, SOS. And I was going to make it this weekend, and it's on the same aisle. And you can walk by there right where the Hormel or the Armour. Sorry, I'm getting my brands mixed up. Armour makes the chipped beef. Right there, right below it, you'll see Castleberry barbecue, pulled barbecue in a can. Mm-hmm. Somebody buy it and tell me what you think.
This strengthens my hidden meat theory, which is that the more tucked away in the meal the meat is, the worse cut of meat it is.
Sure.
And this is based on coconut breaded shrimp or whatever. You know, like if it's got breaded coconut on the outside of it, that shrimp is 3 days old. That's my thing. It's like you should have thrown it out a couple days ago.
All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, we got another special guest in studio.
Yes, sir.
And we will be right back.
Oh, see you at Mo Comedy Jam.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. If you're one of those people that likes to watch your podcasts, because that's what we do now, well, you're in luck. You can search at Tom and Dan Live for both Twitch and YouTube. We make it super easy, and we'd love it if you go there, look at our content, tons of videos. I release between 10 and 20 different videos a week. Our friend Melissa does those. All kinds of live stuff that you can catch up with. And soon, very, very soon, we will have a completely edited daily companion where you just get all segments edited right out there for you. You don't have to listen to any of the behind the scenes, and you can catch up live video.
And this Sunday is the Food Truck Fiesta in Sanford. Eric Merchman is going to be out there with the Tom and Dan tent. He always got deals for merchandise that we have. They want to get rid of $10 shirts and other things. And that is the last Sunday of their new time from 3 to 8 p.m. And then after that, coming up in October, it'll go back to starting at noon again.
There you go.
So that's this Sunday, the Food Truck Fiesta in Sanford. So we've got the historian on the line. How you doing, historian?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Good. So
if you don't know this character, he calls our show a lot, leaves messages, seems to consume all of our content, and sounds hyper smart, and we like him.
Historian, have you listened to every Tom and Dan show?
Oh, gosh. I would say since the Rat House, I have been a consistent listener.
Since Rat House was... Rat House pulled you in.
Yeah.
Not all bad things. Not all bad things are bad.
Your bus ads is really what did it. Your big bus ads in 2018, I believe, October.
Yeah, Tom doesn't believe in those bus ads.
Hold on, that's
the worst thing you could have said. The worst thing you could have said, historian, is that the buses worked and drive you. Because Tom has said that those buses are the worst thing we ever did. You literally just changed his whole ideology has been changed listening to you say
Hold on, so you saw those bus ads and then you started listening because of that?
Yeah, I like that you guys did with the graphic design. I think it was your new logos at the time. They're now your current logos with the.
Yeah, we're old. Haven't had buses in a minute. Yeah, because Tom didn't want them. He didn't want those buses.
So when you saw the buses, were you like, "What the hell is that?" Then you saw the podcast, or did you know? I forgot what the hell we put on there. Did we put the podcast?
We had a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it said podcast. It had the number, and then we did a thing where every month that had a holiday, we made ourselves look like elves. We made ourselves look like Jason and Freddy. We did it awesome, and we did a good job. And it makes my heart my heart was warmed that you saw the bus and you started listening, man.
Yeah, I tuned in specifically when Ross, I remember exactly actually, when Ross was talking about how he touched the window with a stick and it exploded with a bunch of rats. And then I went and looked up the Ross episodes, like Ross Freaks Out, where he's mad about the sofa couch races back in 2016, and he's having a freak out about that.
Real mad now. You should see what he's mad about now.
So, historian, you said you wanted some advice.
Life advice.
Yeah, I think I'm facing some modern problems, and I think you guys might have some modern solutions.
Let's do it.
I think
By the way, I only have old school solutions.
Like a lot of his solutions are, we need different water fountains for everybody. Or, that was one of your favorites.
Hit them in the knees with this club. They'll stop doing it.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah. You break their windows, they'll know.
No voting for them.
No, I'll bullet point it quickly. I don't want to ramble, but
all good.
I've left a few messages prior with the general theme that life is kind of dissatisfying, and not, obviously I struggle with the mental health stuff. I'm dealing with a lot at home and everything, but a general. I think you're going to have this talk with your kids eventually as well. And the general question is this: how, in this day and age, as everything is kind of like work from home is becoming more popular, in general, people are becoming more isolated, younger. Like, I could stay at home, order groceries, order food, etc. And a lot of people are choosing to just stay at home because, they don't want to deal with people. They don't want to spend money they don't have.
Right.
I find that my life, if I took a pie chart of my day, I do everything right. I get up, I exercise, I pay my bills, I go to work. But life just seems generally boring. There's nothing very satisfying about any of it. And I know most people then say, well, make your job the satisfying thing. But you guys, Tom, more specifically, you have been kind of saying, like, don't make what you enjoy your job.
I know what he's talking about.
It starts to feel like...
You listen to this guy. Come on. This guy don't know what the hell he's talking about. You're going to listen to this guy. You're going to listen to this guy about being happy. This guy ain't happy. You're going to listen to this mother ever. This guy is like, he's just like you. It's like two people staring in the mirror. You guys are like the Spider-Man meme. I didn't mean to yell at you. I'm sorry.
That's my general question is just, how in this day and age do you make life enjoyable?
Well, you have a lot going on, right? Like you have a lot going on in that you are dealing with some family things that you've had to saddle for quite some time, right? And that's like, I think that can that can be draining, and I feel like in a lot of ways that can suck out some of the fun that you probably, it's still there, or the fulfillment, or Tom used a really great word last week, grateful, like the things that you can be grateful for. So I would say that those things are still there, but you're pretty weak right now, man. You've been doing a lot for your family, and you've been kind of carrying the torch for everyone. So I would say that those things are still there, but this isn't a funny answer, but you are going to have to work a little bit to get out of there and find them again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe changing the environment's the answer. It's probably. I mean, I'm sure subconsciously there's a lot of things acting that are not.
Well, it's a lot, right? Like you've been carrying, like working with your parents, so that's a lot, and caring for that. So I feel like that kind of stuff can kind of clog up the pipelines, and it's hard to see that there are things that you are grateful, or things that excite you, or things that make your life worthwhile.
No, you're probably right. I do appreciate the word. I'm going to give it a year. I'll call back September 4th, 2025. Okay. And if my life is no more satisfactory, we will have this conversation again.
Historian, I got...
Do you have a hobby?
I have a take on this.
Yeah. You want to listen to Tom's take?
So... I recently saw on TikTok, that autistic guy that climbed that sheer wall. It was on like a documentary Netflix, El Capitan or whatever. That guy, right? He was being interviewed, and he was talking about, and I've had this theory before too, and me and Daniel have talked about it, about why I think I should kidnap you and then put the fear of death in you. And
it's going to happen one day.
And he was explaining, he's like, most people never throughout their day or week or whatever, or any time of their lives ever experience any danger, real danger at all, right? And that and so like this is coming from the guy who obviously one slip and he's dead. This is insane. Like, and I don't think he's telling people to go start free climbing mountains without ropes, but he's got a point in the fact that I do believe that our brains evolved over hundreds of thousands of years in the wild, right, where we constantly were in danger. We constantly were searching for food. We constantly were thinking that our kids, our parents, anybody could die at any time.
And we took that away.
And then we took it away, and now we all live in societies.
But we took it away fast. It didn't come. It didn't.
Yeah. We took it over in 2,000 years.
As long as we've been doing it, it went away like almost instantly.
I mean, not even 2,000 years. I mean, people used to die of toothaches back in the 1900s.
So what do you want him to do? Pull his own teeth out? Like, okay, what do you want him to do?
No. So I do think that there's some sort of mental health aspect of. Like
all of this to just say you need to bungee jump,
not even bungee jump or whatever, but just manufacture some uncertainty in your life, and because
let me ask you this: is it because when he's looking now, it appears that the table's already set?
Yes.
Is that's the terrifying part? Is that you don't see anything new? You need the uncertainty to get excited. Is that what you're saying?
Because the historian's done all the right things. He's exercising. He's got a good job.
He's done good on his family.
He's taking care of his parents, and eventually that'll sort itself out. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, it does. Yeah. That's called time.
Yeah. And time will take care of that. But anyway, so then you're looking at you're like, okay, well, what else does life have to offer? Like, I'm doing all the right things. I got my 401k. I pay my rent. I know where I'm going to live. Like, there's no uncertainty at all. And I think that in the back of our brain, in like our lizard brain, like builds a baseline of stress, and like because we are like we evolved to live a life of uncertainty, or maybe you don't know where your next food is going to come from, or that you could be eaten by this animal.
Yeah, Christine kind of piggybacks on what you're saying, says, Tom is looking at this from the wrong viewpoint. It's not about danger, it's from attentiveness. Rock climbing requires the mindfulness and attention to be safe. You can't be distracted and successful at it. It has little to do with, quote, the danger aspect, but the attention.
And here's the thing, you could rock climb with ropes perfectly safe, but your brain will still think you're in danger. You see what I'm saying? Like, and you could trick your brain thinking it's in danger, and you could be perfectly safe. I don't think.
And you think that will fulfill him?
I don't know.
That will fill his cup? Because I think everybody's different. Andrea uses that term all the time. She's like, "What will fill your cup today?"
Yeah. And so I don't know, but I do think that we don't have a lot of that in our lives, because our lives are pretty easy, and we made our lives easy, and we have abundant food. And, I think from the majority of our listeners aren't worried about starving to death. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Most of our listeners are not. Those people exist, but it's not our guys.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, if you're listening to this, and then you have everybody has financial problems,
yes,
but it's not going to lead to your death. You're not worried about being killed, or the likelihood of it. We live safe lives.
Yeah, a historian. I had kind of, when you'd called us a little while ago, and you were talking about like where you would want to live if you could work remotely. Sorry. Have you given any more thought to that? Because I really did feel when I was listening to your voice message that you really do want the excitement of maybe traveling or going someplace else. I kind of felt that. I could be wrong, but it kind of felt like, and that's an easy thing, I feel like, because that is uncertain. I feel like, like you said, changing your area can be both exciting and scary. I think that's why people get jazzed up when you move into a new house or you get a new car. Anything, it's like you're checking a new box, right? It's a new experience. There is some uncertainty in it because you don't know the city, you don't know the town. So maybe something like that, man. Maybe something like that would work.
Yeah, no, I've been doing the apartment hunt and looking at different cities as well. I've lived in a few different cities, and I do find it is exciting for the first few months, but it does seem like, maybe this is just my perspective, that things seem to be flattening out to a point that everything feels the same everywhere. Like, if you go to downtown Atlanta and walk around, it's like empty because no one goes in there. And then you go to downtown Nashville, and it's kind of similarly empty, except the one, street with all the bars on it. But then every city is just becoming a street with a bunch of bars on it.
I know what you need.
It doesn't.
You need a prostitute. This guy needs a prostitute. Yeah, you got the old, everything seems the same. I'll tell you what gets me out of a funk.
Yeah.
Prostitute.
Yeah. It's the sex worker. Have you ever been with a prostitute?
Have you been with a sex worker before?
I used to clean. My dad is very white trash and very mentally ill, and he used to clean bars. He used to have a cleaning business where it was just him cleaning like bars and strip clubs. So when I was like 12 or 13, he would take me with him at like 3 in the morning, and the alcohol smell from those places, like the dried alcohol under the rubber mats and stuff. And like, if you guys ever come to upstate New York, which you should not do, there's a place here called The Barrel that has been open since like the 80s. That is like has lore now. Like it's a Rochester, New York staple, and it's one of the grossest, most depressing places you'll ever see.
I spent some time in Seneca Falls with a girl I dated, and that is a depressing area there. It is. It can be. Yeah. And it's redneck crazy, by the way. I didn't know that, but upstate New York is just as rednecky as anything around here. Like it's like you'll find just straight up, like if you took the person and just put him in Florida, no one would know the difference.
I will tell you something like that is more serious. Like Daniel,
we need to buy this guy a prostitute.
Is that I've felt before like I'm just spinning my wheels and everything's the same. And I will tell you that when I started this, like I started running, and then I realized I was like, oh, I'm gonna sign myself up for like these different challenges that I thought were impossible. Will I sign up for them? I think they're impossible.
Yeah, well, it's the uncertainty that he needs, right?
Yeah, and then I could train for them and then do them, and then that offered a mental fulfillment that I wasn't getting from, let's say, even this business, because a lot of times it's just the same. You get into running a business and it's kind of the same thing over and over, and then you're like, a lot of times you don't have control over the success of wherever, even at work, like people want to like move up in their company.
Yeah.
Like
you don't really control that.
Your manager controls that.
Yeah.
Another person, saying no matter
the manager's manager.
And then no matter how hard they work, they feel like they're kept getting looked over by promotions and whatever. So you're just like, you feel like you're spinning your wheels, and then focus towards something you can control, like a challenge that's like, okay, if I practice for this 5K, this 10K, this half marathon, I can achieve it. Yeah. And if I do the right steps, I will do this. And then that kind of refocuses your mind.
What are your thoughts on? What are your thoughts on Tom's gay exercise challenge? What are your thoughts? Give me your thoughts.
I'm glad you did that. I'm glad you did that.
How do you feel? Are you going to put on a wig and run a race?
I think, Tom, you like running a lot because of the alone time as well. I think that might be an aspect unexplored that you could.
He could never admit that, though. He could never admit that, though. He could never have that on tape.
Oh, yeah.
That he loves being alone.
And I love when I go off a run, and then my wife's like, I'll go, too.
And you're like, yes, you will.
And then I see running TikTok when it says, like, you run to leave your stress at home, and stress comes with you, and then it shows his wife running behind him. And I'm like, I'm just like everybody else.
That's hilarious.
Everybody's the same. Do you get any solace in that, historian? Because if
we're just like you, buddy.
Everybody's the same. Everybody feels unfulfilled. Everybody's in their lives are like, what else is there?
Yeah,
this is it.
And I gotta pee so bad. My prostate is literally. It feels like I'm sitting on a cushion.
Does that give you, any better feeling to know that everybody's like you? Everybody feels like their life has no purpose, and they're just doing this all for nothing.
It should help.
Yeah, I think so. I think the world is just full of Toms and Dans, and I guess that's just something we have to live with.
Yeah, you just got. I mean, you find the little things.
I still go back to prostitute over exercise, but that's just me. I mean, it's quicker.
Prostitute and climb them out.
The exercise, like 6 months of training. I'm just talking about like $100, and
Have you tried to do what all of our listeners do? Is just dull the reality with drugs and alcohol?
He sounds too smart to do that.
Yeah. That's what everybody else is doing.
You don't drink or do drugs, do you?
No, I don't. I don't
it.
do
I
that.
knew it.
See, that's a problem.
I knew it. Too smart.
The rest of us are like,
Yeah, I do it in front of my family.
yeah, we're looking around. We're like, this is it. Drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it makes it it's not that bad.
Yeah, like even this afternoon, I'll be like, God, this Wednesday sucks.
I used to. I used to have to bring family members to like OA and AA meetings, so that was a big bummer. And I illegally drive them. I was too young to drive, but I would have to because they were drunk or high.
Oh my God, you're 12 years old, you're driving, you're drunk dad.
Yeah.
Oh my God, historian, that's a rough life, buddy.
Yeah. Maybe sometimes people's lives are so rough, it just screws them up for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And then
I don't think the prostitute's going to work for this guy.
I think there's like therapy, and it is smarter. Like some doctor would
You know
be
what'd
like,
be awesome? Therapy prostitute.
Okay.
Has anybody thought of that?
See, that would work.
Therapy prostitute's badass, dude.
Yeah.
You bang her or him, and then afterwards you lay in bed and you talk about your stuff.
That would work.
That would
I'd
work.
go to that.
I know you would. I'm going to start that. Write that down. Historian, write down therapy prostitute.
I write that down.
Write that down.
And I wonder if my wife would let me go because
No,
she
you
wants
don't say the prostitute part.
Oh, yeah. I'm just going
They
to
just
say
like, what kind of, they just have, like an MD.
Can we call it?
that would work. That's a good idea. We just gotta find.
Call it.
Don't say
sorry.
it.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Our listeners are going to
You
bad.
could call it a hug and tug.
Not bad. You got the goods, kid.
You do got
want
the
a
goods.
job?
You want a podcast job? You want to be a radio superstar?
Hey, do you want to be a radio superstar like me, Chuck Jiggins?
I'll leave it to the professionals. But I really do appreciate it, guys. I
You
needed
got
to
it.
laugh.
Anytime
Thank
you need help, you know where to find us. We like talking to you. You're one of our more beloved members. You're in the R team.
Yeah. And if anybody's out there listening that wants to apply for our new business, Hug and Tug.
Yes, if you are.
If
If
you don't
you're
even
a man or woman that has a counseling credential
Yeah.
and you're also want to sleep with our listeners.
Yeah. It's more important how you look, not so much of the therapy part. But that is all BS anyway. You don't have to worry about that. Just listen to someone bitch about their problems.
There you go.
And then you know what you have to do. Huh?
All right, guys. Well, really, thank you so much. I love the show, and I'm going to continue to listen. So
You got it. All right, we'll
I
talk
hope
to you
you're
soon.
doing well.
All right, we'll see you soon. Do we have a free cruise to give him? The chat room's asking. Do we have one?
No.
Can we send him on a cruise?
No,
Do
we
have one?
don't have enough free cruise.
Can we give him EJ's room?
EJ's not even going, I don't think. Is
Oh,
he?
he's not going?
Is
I thought he was going.
Is EJ going?
Or was he not going? I thought he was going. Are you guys going to have a swim off on the cruise?
No. Oh, yeah, he is going because we talked about that.
You do it on the boat, dude. Swim off.
In
the main pool of the Lido.
Here's the problem, is if he beats me again, I can't live with myself. So
Yeah, EJ, chat room is saying EJ is going, but he's mad about it. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed this, but EJ in the chat room is just insufferable. He's all grumpy and mean to everybody.
what is he grumpy about?
I don't know. He's in his feelings or something.
He came in here the other day saying like he was mad that he did the thing that I hate where he's like, someone called me an R word on social media and I'm upset about it. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And then when he explained the story, I was like, they didn't call you an R word. They were giving you some guff about something you said.
I love that you used the word guff. Guff is an underutilized word.
But I'm just saying, but then he transformed.
Well, he's sensitive like me. He's a sensitive guy.
Someone straight up called him the R word. And I was like, they were just effing with you because we F with you. You got to understand
right.
how.
There's a balance.
Yeah,
There's a balance. It ebbs and flows.
And then he took it like that, and then it got all upset about it. So what does he matter?
People love EJ.
What is he? Well, wouldn't go that far. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.